Oh, wait, did it... I think it's working. I think we're working, guys. I think we're here. I think so. Let's see. I think so. Let me see. I don't see us. Mm-hmm. Do you see us, though? Let's see. Oh, wait, there it is. You can see my browsers. It's fun. Alrighty, so then let's see if all I have to do is go to the pop-up window, which is right over here. Hi, guys. This can be edited. It's fine. It's totally fine. Hello. Awkward pause. I think everything has now turned out okay. Welcome to TPK. I am your new fabulous DM for today. Yeah, no, Ryan's not allowed anymore. No, sorry. It can be edited out. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's fine. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, we're not doing our usual D&D stream today. We're actually going to be doing a one-shot, since unfortunately some people couldn't be here today. You can probably guess who. But yeah, we're going to be playing Monster of the Week. I'm going to be the keeper for today, /DM. And these are going to be my hunters. Basically, what Monster of the Week is basically a fate point system campaign / game similar to D&D. It is a role-playing game. However, it's a lot simpler in that there's a lot less rules. I get to have a little bit more fun. And the general feel for the sort of setting or game is basically same as the genre, Monster of the Week. So like you can think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Supernatural, that kind of genre. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing with you two today. Do you guys want to introduce your characters likely, or should I just begin to enter you into the little town of Willowbrook? Okay, sure. Well, you guys start your journey, or your night, in Willowbrook, a familiar town to both of you. Willowbrook is a small, nestled nook sort of town in the middle of upstate Pennsylvania, very rural, very small. It's 1996, so still pretty advanced technology that you guys are probably familiar with, but maybe not up to now 2021 touch screens, and you still have dial-ups and giant computer screens that dial up for like 20 minutes before you actually get into any sort of internet. You guys generally live normal lives. However, there is a general eerie feel to Willowbrook, especially at nighttime. In general, there are the usual rumors of, ghosts in the cemetery, or like shadow people in the woods, strange creatures of cryptids, maybe even like at one point you even heard some weird story about a Bigfoot. Like, what? You like it? These are normal happenings for Willowbrook, but no one can really actually prove them real. So, you guys, like any other night, prepare for your slumber, like any other day at Willowbrook. So, who would like to go first? Wonderful. Now, Sammy, how do you sleep? Do you sleep in like a large lounge chair with like your view towards the door? Do you sleep in a bed? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, good to know. And so you're going through that whole thing, making sure the traps are set up, double checking, triple checking all of your traps and weapons and set up, and like you are making sure that you are ready to go for this night, just like you would any other night. And so everything seems up to par. You sit back and you kind of just stare out into the distance, letting your breath slow, calming yourself, and feeling your eyelids starting to get heavier and heavier. But just before you fall asleep, what about your character, Jack? What is your character doing to fall asleep? Right. Adorable, first off. So cute. Um, right then, so you, being the best little girl that you are, and the most loyal, you're going through, what you usually do. Maybe having a little bit of food from your bowl before you roll several times into your bed. Maybe a little continuous sleep because you want to make sure that it's alright to sleep in. Because, like, it's sort of like you pulling yourself from your own guard duties before you plop yourself onto your bed, all snugly onto your pillow. Close your eyes and just relax. You're trying to ignore any other little signs of life that you're kind of usually used to hearing, and then your eyelids close. And you fall asleep. Both of you fall asleep very easily. You wake up, open your eyes. It's the middle of the night. But both of you notice It's quiet. And not the usual quietness that you would find in a normal sort of rural setting. No, not a quietness that you would hear still, like any, you know, frogs chirping in the distance, or maybe some little crickets off to the side. It is pin drop quiet. You hear absolutely nothing. Okay. Weird. What the heck? Let me see. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Let me see what I can do. You guys are going to see my tabs. Oh no! Let's see. Oh my goodness. Awesome friend. Glorious friend. Wonderful friend. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is my job, guys. Here, you guys, what I don't see you. Can't hear the other two players. How would I fix that? Maybe... Well, they're not seeing you right now, I'll be honest. That is so true. Thick. Of course. No, I have not seen that. He's not wrong. He's absolutely not wrong. I've literally added every audio output imaginable. I don't know if any one of them will come up. Hopefully so. It says he can't hear the other two players. See the other two earlier, couldn't hear them. Interesting. Yeah, I know, the OBS. I know. I couldn't figure out how to separate the pages. This is why I don't do this, guys. Yeah, it's a learning process. That's all it is. It's fine. I also have a puppy barking. Yeah, no, don't do what I did. But then again, I really didn't have that much time. I was so busy this week. I wonder if Ryan's watching. Ryan! How do you do this? Watch, he'll probably be texting me. Or not. He'll probably be like, oh, your problem now. That is a little very small dog, very upset that he can't go outside right now. Alright, don't know if that did anything. Learning process. And yes, to answer your question, Crazy Blind Jake, since I know you can definitely hear me, we were absent last week. If you follow our Twitter and Instagram, we actually let you guys know, or at least we put out an update saying, hey, we're not streaming. So for all of you, or for any of you watching, you can please follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date. Good plug, as I'm trying to, like, very horribly save whatever I can of this. Sorry, Ryan. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing they didn't hear that. If he is watching, he's probably enjoying the crap out of himself. Yeah, he's enjoying me like very awfully trying to run this and failing. It's fine. I wonder if there's anything I can do. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that. I just wonder if there's anything I can do on my end here. I doubt it. Don't know. I can't right now. Boo. Why? I'm so upset they can't hear you. Because I don't do Discord on my browser. I do Discord on my, well, not Discord as itself, like, the actual app. I use it through, Chrome. Because I have my own account, and then I have this account, which I use my web browser for. Maybe audio output capture, we'll do this, and then we'll put that. You should do that, Crazy Blind Jake. Oh, snap. Good job. Maybe I have an idea. Yeah, that would be... Maybe if I do this.
To be able to do that. However, none of what I have read so far I've gotten permission for, except for like whenever I do either Reddit or creepypasta stuff, and just looking for stories where I do not need the permissions, or at least the only permissions required is that I just put down the link and the source that I got everything from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is... I like, YouTube videos about Reddit threads so much more than I like Reddit itself.
Right.
because I get, like, I tried to go on Reddit threads and stuff and interact, but to be honest, I don't really understand the whole point system and, like, why I can't post or comment sometimes if I don't have enough points, but that's the only way I get points. That confuses me, and I'm sure someone can explain it to me like they've tried a million times, but I think it should be more, easy to understand off the bat. And then also, YouTube, the people who make the YouTube compilations, they just get all the good ones. Like, I don't have to read all the boring ones. I get to read the spicy stuff all by itself.
My boyfriend pointed this out to me, that a lot of people who do a lot of Reddit readings do really well, because it's not only trendy, but it's also entertaining. So part of me is thinking that I do that for a while when I get a setup to where I can actually get back into doing narration, voiceover, voice acting. So the idea is I probably will start doing more Reddit compilation stuff. The thing is, I don't know how I feel about browsing through Reddit, because that requires having to look for funny things. I could just stick with a particular genre on Reddit, like a particular topic, and just stick with that.
Yeah. Because I think that there are people who do that, right? Like, there's that one girl who has, I think her name is Illuminati, but, like, naughty is spelled like naughty. And she has, like, this really cute, icon of, like, herself, but her head is, like, a triangle with an eyeball in the center. And I think, like, she does various things, but I think, like, her main thing, like, her brand is, MLMs, and, like, taking them down, which I think is really cool. Yeah, I think it'd be fun, and this conversation has made me realize that, I don't follow you on YouTube, so I'm gonna go do that now.
I think we're good. Can someone check if there's an echo on my part?
Yeah, I can hear myself on the stream.
Hello?
Gosh.
Maybe, hopefully, my mic is being a bitch again.
I think we're
Well,
good.
because I have to have my microphone
there's an echo on my
perfectly
part.
angled in a way to where it does pick up my voice.
Okay. I think
That's
we're
annoying. Sorry.
I think in general we're good.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that there's not too much echo. Crazy Blind Jake, Blake, or Jake Sama, please confirm there's not that much echo.
I hear someone else's voice, pretty sure it's the Reading Dragon says, hey!
Yes. Okay. I think we can definitely hear ourselves on the stream now.
Woo! Okay. Wow, there's gonna be a lot of editing that Ryan is doing and not me. Alrighty.
Hi, Ryan.
Ryan.
Don't you love us?
It's okay. It's totally okay. Everything's fine. It's fine.
Don't worry about it. We're good.
We're good. So, I think we'll start afresh. You guys, how about...
Off in the middle of the night.
Yes, you guys are going to sleep in your own way. Let's try to recap your character's interaction, since unfortunately no one heard you guys. Avonlea, would you like to go first again? What is your character doing to prepare for their normal night's rest in Willowbrook?
Just setting up all my traps, making sure everything is prepared for whenever something comes my way, because I'm probably one of the only people keeping this town protected from all the cryptids in the areas outside of town. also making sure that all of my hands-on weapons are cleaned up and prepared for whatever comes my way. And then I get myself settled in my living room and where I normally sleep most nights. And I'm just keeping watch, not only on my front door, but on the patios, back and front patios. My camera has this autofocus feature. Anyway. And as I'm getting myself settled in my comfy chair, that's perfectly positioned to have eyes on both ends of my area of the house. And also, kind of behind me what the staircase leads up to, so I can hear if anything tries to come through the upstairs window. I'm just keeping watch until I eventually fall asleep. Because I am up most hours of the night anyway.
Very healthy. Totally not gonna have any effect.
It is healthy, very healthy.
Yeah. No effect on your mental health whatsoever. It's fine. They just don't know. They don't know what lurks in the night, but you do.
I do. I know
do.
what lurks out there. Ain't it?
Wonderful.
My first encounter, I got it in the face with my hunting rifle.
And and that is yours, and you mount it on your wall and everything.
What's left of it, at least.
That's true. Alrighty. How about you, Jack? What is your character doing to prepare for the night?
Well, I am Belle, and I am a border collie who belongs to a very lovely and precocious 11-year-old, and she just got ready for her bedtime, so I'm going to lay with her and keep her nice and comfortable and safe feeling until she falls asleep. And I'm just going to keep my head on her legs until that happens. And once she's safe in Dreamland, I'm going to get up and softly pad my way into the living room. And from there, I will take account of my surroundings and make sure the whole house is safe. I've got to do my duty to protect my family. And then I will kind of circle around, and when I'm ready for sleep, I will lay down in my dog bed in the living room and keep to myself and just fall asleep.
It doesn't get any less adorable the second time. It's still so cute.
She's a lady if she was a protective border collie.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't think about that, but you're not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. So you do your duty as a good girl that you are, or good dog that you are. You roll around and sort of like prepare your bed as best as you can, because it has to be perfect before you lay back. And you plop your head onto the pillow or onto your dog bed and sort of like chill out and let dreams and the night take you. Both of you. Now, we'll continue with you guys awakening to a very silent household. Both of you. Your households are both very quiet. Your environment is very quiet. There is no regular night sounds that you would normally hear in the middle of the night. No rustling of trees, no frogs chirping or croaking, no crickets. It is quiet. What do either of you guys do?
This is highly suspicious, I think to myself. And I slowly and quietly bring up my hunting rifle and get it in my lap while I'm still in my chair. And I'm just listening to my surroundings to see if anything comes up. And I got my hunting rifle in hand at the ready.
Right, keeping your guard up.
Guard on high alert.
Mm-hmm.
Jump Then this where it comes.
What about you, Belle? What are you doing? Are you doing anything?
Yeah, Bella's gonna kind of lift her head up and in like the curious way and kind of look around and I think she would probably go through her doggy door in the back of the house and look around outside because even though she knows that her home is relatively quiet, outside should not be this quiet. So she's gonna see if she can find any night critters or owls that should be making noise and see why that's not the case.
Alrighty.
Oh no.
Very smart. A very smart dog. Whoa, I just saw the video capture. Oh wait, there we go. We're good. It's fine. Video capture is fine. Everything is fine, you guys. I just need to pull something up real quick.
We're professionals.
We're professionals. So I need you.
This is not my day job.
Oh, God. I mean, even the unprofessionals get paid for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So this definitely sounds like you are investigating a mystery. So I'm gonna need you to roll plus sharp. So roll 2d6s
okay.
plus sharp.
Gosh. Wait, hold on 1 second. Right, here we go. Oh!
What'd you
I
get?
wish I could show you guys. I rolled a nat 12.
Nice!
Take a picture of that. You should take a picture.
You should take a picture of
I'm
that.
My sharp is +1, so 13.
13. Okay. 1 second. Is that the right? Yeah. So, let's see. So, what are you... So, you're looking for critters in particular?
Like, kind of owls or mice or anything I know should be out in the middle of the night. So nothing, not really particular, just nocturnal.
Okay. All right. Is that all you're looking for, or are you still sort of like also listening for anything?
I'm also listening. I'm just trying to be as observant as possible. As you know, this is obviously something is not right, so I'm just trying to identify anything that could help me understand what is not right.
Okay. So, in that case, since you also got a 13, that means that will be the question that I will answer for you. Usually for Investigate a Mystery, with a 7 to 9, you are only allowed to ask me 2 questions out of the basic moves list. So basic hunter moves. But since you got a 13, and that's what you're essentially doing, I'll answer that for you. You're looking around in several, like, crevices, and you're looking in, small holes and tunnels, and maybe on, like, the sides of, like, the rims of homes where you would usually see, like, a chipmunk or some sort of mouse. But there are no critters. No crickets either. Everything else seems normal, but there's no animals around. You're the only one.
Not sure if I like it. Huh? Sorry?
No, you're the only one. You're the only animal that you can even smell.
The only one.
You don't even smell any other animals.
Wow. I don't like that at all.
Sammy, can I ask you a question? Are you keeping your lights on?
I would probably had one of my outside lights on at least, as part of the whole surveillance mechanism and traps and whatnot.
Right, but you're sitting in darkness yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. You hear one of your traps go off. It would probably be like a spring kind of trap, but you don't hear any noises. But you do hear it go off. You hear it sort of go off at the side of your house. Off to the side.
So I look in the direction that it comes from, and I start to slowly get up with my hunting rifle in hand. And I start heading towards that direction, but I don't go outside as of yet. I just look through kind of the window. Is it past my patio or past my front door?
I think it's probably past your front door.
Alright, so I'm gonna kind of peek through the blinds of my front door and see if I see anything.
Are you looking specifically out? Or are you like scanning around?
I'm peeking through the little window
on
my door. I'm not going outside as of yet. I'm just going to peek through and see what I can see through the window, scanning the area.
Right. You don't... Let me see. Investigate a mystery for you as well. So, 2d6 plus sharp.
Oh dear.
Or if you want, actually, oh wait, no, you could also do read a bad situation. It's up to you. I think this would most likely be, either way, the stat would be the same. It's just, you're asking different questions. So with read a bad situation, you can ask different questions. Or with,
so that would be using sharp then.
Yes.
Okay. My sharp is better than my charm. That is a total of 6.
6, okay. You find it hard to see anything. It's still in the middle of the night, clearly. But, you don't see anything. You're kind of looking out and scanning forward, and you're not really seeing anything. Belle, where you are at, you can hear a noise sort of like startle you at your side of like something very loud, but like you kind of like jump out and you're like, whoa, like you freak out a little bit, but you realize you're fine, but you do smell someone sort of like in your vicinity. You smell a person, not anyone you're particularly familiar with.
I would like to go follow them. See if I can track them down.
They seem to be behind a door. Because you can smell them underneath sort of like the very end, very crevice. And you're like, there's someone there. That's the only thing I smell. And so you're really putting your nose in there. And Sammy, you can also sort of hear a sort of like sniffling kind of noise by the bottom of your door.
I'm gonna back up from the door and give a sharp and concise bark, and then go hide in like a nearby bush or something.
Sammy, you hear, and then
would I recognize who that bark belongs to, since this is kind of a small town setting?
I think you would probably recognize that not many other dogs are like Belle. Not many other town dogs sort of like go out and are friendly with people as much as she is.
Well, and hearing Belle, I carefully open the door and just kind of peek my head out. Like I have my hunting rifle at my side.
Uh-huh.
But still ready to, like, pull it up if I need to. But I have it to my side, just in case it is Belle. And I just kind of peek out my door a little bit as I open up about this much.
All right.
And then seeing Samantha, seeing her and noticing that she's not a threat, Belle's gonna come out from where she was hiding and just kind of wag her tail a little bit and sit there and cock her head to the side. Just like, what's going on?
Just really. But girl, what are you doing out in the middle of the night? Yeah, come on in. Get yourself warmed up. Oh, Jeebus, Belle.
You also notice as you're crawling out and from the bush, Belle, and also as you're seeing Belle come out from the bushes, Jack, that she's actually got some sort of like weird packs on her, sort of like a life vest kind of situation. But you're not entirely sure what it is, but she's carrying something. Belle, you will recognize this feeling as the same sort of pack that your sweet 11-year-old best friend, because she's not an owner to you, Becca, would sort of like put on you when she's playing investigations or like Sherlock Holmes, when she's out investigating mysteries with you. You would recognize that you sort of like feel that it's on you. You're like, oh, okay. But that's alright. I found prison, so I'm happy. And so you walk inside with her.
Yep.
And as Belle is getting into my home,
Mm-hmm.
and like I look, I just kind of take I just look over Belle to make sure it is Belle and nothing odd, and nothing strange about her. It's like, and then I go over to my kitchen and get out one of my canned meats and whatnot, and just get that set up to give her a bit of a snack.
Is it beef jerky? Because that's her favorite snack.
She would know that Belle loves beef jerky.
Belle, what do you think when you see this very nice stranger give you your favorite treats?
Good question.
I also make sure to put the safety on my hunting rifle.
Very good.
Make sure safety's on and just have it tucked away on me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that my neighbors are some very lovely people, even though I don't know all of them because I've been far too busy, as you said, investigating with my girl Becca on her adventures. But this woman seems very nice. So since she's kindly offering me some beef jerky, I would like to gently go out and grab it and take it in and eat it myself. And then afterwards, I will say thank you.
Sammy, you look down at this dog. You're giving her the beef jerky because, like, you know, you're being nice to the dog. She's friendly. You know her. Before she gently takes it, you hear a voice in your head go, "Thank you," and she takes the beef jerky in mouth and starts to chew.
What? What?
You're just nomming on the beef jerky, Belle.
Well, I know you didn't just speak in human tongue towards me just now.
Why not?
She was. So I hear this, and then I kind of just like fall backwards into the floor cabinets right behind me in my kitchen. I'm downright spooked at this point.
You are damn right spooked. This is a talking dog. And not only did you wake up in the middle of the night hearing nothing, but now you hear a dog talking to you.
What is Sam going on here? when did you get the ability to talk? I must be dreaming. I need to knock myself out. Wake up in the morning and there will be no talking dog.
I think Belle would look quite shocked at this. I just kind of don't really know how to react because this is a much larger reaction than she's used to from her human.
Yeah, Becca's usually pretty chill.
That the little girl got inspiration from Samantha. Oh no.
So yeah, you have a talking dog, and you have another human that can understand what's going on, or at least understand your way of tongue.
Is that normal for Belle? Do people understand
No.
her, or is that not normal?
That is not normal for her.
Okay. So she's probably also quite shocked, but less visibly so.
You kind of like cock your head to the side.
Having a near heart attack.
Yeah, you cock your head to your side, and you're like, oh, that's weird. You're like, little ears just.
Yeah.
Samantha's just not sure as to whether he should just go along with this, thinking this is some sort of crazy dream, or if she should shoot the damn thing.
All right.
Did she say that out loud? No.
Okay.
You're just confused.
No, but I as Samantha would just be thinking this in my head as I, oh no.
I was gonna cautiously take a few steps forward and say, "Night is very strange. I don't know what's happening."
It's a very strange night indeed, and I'm thinking that this is some sort of crazy dream. And for the sake of my morals and to just better my conscience, I'm gonna go along with it and accept the fact that you're a talking dog. Or one of them Anunnakis or something like that.
Belle's just gonna nod and sit there.
Good.
We're just gonna kind of sit there looking at each other and it's like,
Oh, stupid pop-up. I'm gonna close that. Close, yes, quit. There we go. So you now realize that you have a talking dog with you in this weird, kind of crazy situation. Belle, you sort of start to recall that, like, this is the only person that you've smelled or, like, noticed since you've gotten out. You didn't even smell Becca when you woke up. You don't really seem to be picking anything up, and, like, that's what kind of, like, freaks you out a little bit, especially as a dog. When you can smell and hear most things around you that some of your human compatriots can't smell or hear.
Yeah. I think she would probably like look around and see that Samantha's the only one there and just go, "Have you seen anyone since you woke up? I haven't, and I'm very concerned."
I haven't yet, but also I kind of live by myself in this abode, so I don't expect to see a whole lot of people in the middle of the night. I'd be concerned if there was someone here in the middle of the night besides myself, unless I had personally invited them in, like I did you.
It's at that point, both of you hear up on the front door.
I get my hunting rifle. I'm looking at my door. And I get my hunting rifle in hand, and I look at the bell. Stay here for a minute. I'm like, maybe that's your other humans. Maybe your family. And I start walking towards my front door, but the front door being closed again and locked up, I look out the window of it again, and with my hunting rifle still in hand, I look out and I take a look at what I see. Do I see anything out of my window of my front door?
You do. A little ways away, because you do kind of live a bit secludedly. You have some, I imagine, some lights towards, like, your front door and your front driveway, just so that, like, you can see out in the middle of the night in case something like this happens. You see a figure of, like, what seems to be a humanoid man, probably, like, in some sort of uniform. He's sort of like, with the spotlight on him, it's hard to tell if any facial features, but you do hear a voice go, "Come out with your hands up."
Would I recognize the uniform or recognize anyone from town?
You see sort of like a navy blue to the uniform. It could be maybe a police officer, but you can't really make out any facial features, just the way the shadows are falling on his face and skin.
And he's not at the door, but he's away from the door, like down my driveway, or is he like at my door?
He's down your driveway. He's a little ways away.
That's odd, considering that the knock on my door happened just before I got to my door. What in Sam's hell is going on?
You hear again,
And
"Come out with your hands up."
At this point, Belle is going to approach the door and gently paw at the bottom and kind of look up at Samantha and say, "You should let me outside."
are you sure?
They might not find me as threatening as a grown woman with a shotgun.
You know what? That's fair, but I warn you, there's critters out there that would take a small animal like yourself first thing. So, just stay close, and I start opening the door to let her out. But I'm going to keep an eye on Belle.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure if anything happens, I'm ready. I'm ready to go after what goes after Belle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's just gonna cautiously step out, like probably like half of her body outside, and just kind of look and see if the police officer does anything.
Right.
If it is a police officer.
Or if it is a police officer.
Alrighty. Roll investigative mystery for me once again.
Uh,
Or would you like to do read a bad situation? Up to you. The questions are a little bit different.
I would like to do, let's see, 10. I would like to do read a bad situation.
Sure.
And I rolled with,
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So, I rolled a 9 plus my 1 sharp, so that's a 10.
Okay.
What does hold 3 mean?
Hold 3 just means you get to ask me 3 of those questions listed. So basically,
okay.
What's my best way in? What's my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's the most vulnerable to me? And what's the best way to protect the victim? So you may ask me 3 of those questions, and I will answer them for you.
Okay, well, firstly, I would like to ask, are there any dangers we haven't noticed yet?
Okay. As you slowly approach on your way to this humanoid figure, you're still noticing you're not really smelling anything human or like a person. Nothing really changed, but you do see this person as you're coming up. But way back, sort of to your left side, you start to hear a low rumble. of something that you don't really recognize. Nothing you've really heard before.
Okay, she's gonna stop. She's not gonna go any closer to the humanoid. I don't like that you keep using that word, by the way. And, ask, what is the biggest threat?
The biggest threat that you are aware of right now would probably be that grumble. If anything, the closest resemblance to that rumble that you can think of could probably be a bear, like maybe a brown bear. That's the closest thing that you think it sounds like. Doesn't sound quite right, but that's your best guess, because that's the only thing you can compare it
to. Okay. And then, Eber, with your permission, can I make a slight variation? Instead of what's the best way to protect the victims, could I ask what's the best way to protect Sammy?
Yes, you can. I'm just thinking of how I'm going to answer this for you. No
worries.
I think for a dog, for someone as protective as you are, you're probably going to shift your attention from the officer and probably cock your head or even your body too toward that direction to the left. Sammy, as you're noticing that Bella's acting a little weird, like she starts to walk towards the officer and everything, then you hear or see her little ear flop to the left as an indication that she's noticed something that you still can't hear yet. But then she sort of like cocks her head to the left. The officer has not moved, has not made any indication that he's seen Belle walk towards her. Belle, you're probably still about 10 feet away from him. And then the officer has not made any notice to you or Belle. He just seems to sort of still make his gaze towards your direction. Come out with your hands up!
I look in the so first I look in the direction that Belle just looked at, and I don't see anything but like darkness past, like where the light ends, right?
Yes.
Okay. And looking back at the officer that's telling me to come out with my hands up, does it look like he's even breathing in my perspective?
It's a bit hard for you to tell. He's about maybe like 30 feet away from you.
Okay. So, now, he did not specify. He only said to come out with my hands up. He did not specify that I cannot have my hunting rifle on me, and everyone in town knows that I am a hunter on this premise here. So it should not be surprised that I come out with something on me. However, safety is still on my rifle at this moment, and it's still pointed down. So having it pointed down and having my thumb hooked into where the loop for what otherwise would be the trigger is, just going to be holding it down, barrel pointed down, and I'm going to start heading out. Like, can I help you, officer?
Are you slowly making your way out from the door?
I slowly open my door, and with my thumb hooked to my pointed down hunting rifle, I have my hands up.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he did not specify whether or not I can have my weapon on me, and everyone knows I always carry something on me. I come out with my hands up, but I don't immediately start walking towards him. I'm still on my front porch, just in my doorway, with the door open. I say, "Can I help you, officer?"
Okay. So you step out, still with your weapon in hand, but with arms raised in the air. As you say, "Can I help you, officer?" You just hear, "Come out with your hands up."
I
Come out with your hands up. The light flickers, and the officer isn't there anymore. Jack or Belle, you hear a low grumble of a creature that you've not known before start to slowly grow louder.
Back.
You growl, and you sort of see in the darkness with your animal eyes a looming figure, huge, bigger than a brown bear, with small beaded red eyes that stare through, and they're the only things floating in the darkness of the facility as you start to bark.
Like when this happens, I immediately switch my hunting rifle from passive to aggressive. Undo the safety on my rifle. Do I see what's going on? Like, do I still see Belle? Do I see what's coming Belle's way? What's going on?
You still see Belle. Belle is like sort of hunched over. She's growling and baring her teeth and also like barking in the direction of this creature. You start to sort of hear finally something in this pin drop quiet. Just like this low grumble. And you two are starting to see way out in the distance like small beaded red pupils of some kind that float and follow and almost seem to stalk but still keep in your direction. You have no idea what it is, but it seems to be getting closer.
Sorry, Belle's gonna run back to Samantha and like she's still barking and has her ears flat and all the, traditional dog traits when they're being threatened, and she's just gonna stand by Samantha and keep growling and barking.
Alrighty.
And I'm going to keep my hunting rifle trained on those red beady eyes until, in my perspective, I can see it's close enough to be in my rifle's range. I'm going to shoot at it when it gets close enough.
Alright. Alright. So as you keep your watch on those beady eyes, and Belle, you do the same. You sort of see this big, stalky creature sort of like creep its way around the driveway and almost seems to like appear a little bit beyond the original driveway light. As you see those beady eyes, but with the little bit of light coming out, you also see an almost Cheshire-like smile that widens. Again, the face bigger than a bear. You could see a little bit of its mouth and jaw open, sharp, basically shark-like teeth, tiny and very needle-like, with a little bit of some strange ooze coming out the front as it just stares with beady eyes. And then it starts to stalk towards you, and at that point you shoot. Roll to kick some ass.
I love the moves in this game.
I know!
Okay, at least my kick some ass is a +1. So that's your family now. Do not give me a repeat of last episode of TPK. That is a total of 6.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I need to go look at my equipment here. Because gear.
You're using your hunting rifle, correct?
Yes. Which is a. Now, is that a -2 or just 2?
That would be a -2 to the creature.
Oh, okay. In terms of damage?
In terms of damage, yes.
Okay, cool.
But unfortunately, you rolled a 6 total for your roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a little freaked out because like this Cheshire-like grin and the sharp ass teeth that seems to maybe even have rows of teeth in the back as it opens its mouth, and you're like, you shoot, and it kind of bounces off the light. As you notice it start to getting closer towards that light, and you really you're looking down now, and you realize it doesn't have a shadow.
What?
As it's sort of like this huge black wired-haired creature with pupils that are small and red and smile that creeps across its grin with black ooze. As it starts to gradually make its way, not even caring at all about the blast of the shot, it slowly starts to make its way towards the light, and then it sort of recoils a bit once it actually starts to get in proximity with the light, the street lamp light, the driver's light, and then it kind of creeps back, still with that smile. But you kind of notice as it sort of like swirls around back into the woods, it's huge, with, you think, 6 legs, 3 on each side, and a large wire-like tail that swivels from the back of it.
Out of character, I saw a TikTok on this the other day.
Could be from the same thing, you don't know.
In character, I have no God gracious clue what the fuck was that. What the literal fuck was that thing?
Belle, you sort of notice, and like you bare your teeth and you get ready to pounce, but then this creature sort of like turns and recoils back. And it's pin drop quiet again. You don't hear or smell anything. The gurgles seem to sort of like fade out as it seems to keep moving forward and down the driveway.
I'll close my front door once we're both inside, and then I'm gonna go around and make sure that all of the lights are turned on in the house, outside my house, whatever fog lights I have hooked up to the outside of my house. I'm doing like a light dome.
As you do.
As I do? What?
As you do. As you sort of like, all the lights turn on, and like you're flicking everything in your house that you could possibly imagine. Maybe even you're like yourself. Oh wait, no, you don't have a cell phone light yet. You do not. You just have the
I got my
old fashioned.
Either one of those flip phones or a landline.
Yes.
Yeah, I got my landline. I'm even flipping on the bathroom lights at this point. I don't care what he's saying.
Any sort of, your electrician is gonna have fun with you after this.
I'm gonna have a hefty power bill.
Mm-hmm.
Belle is gonna follow her while she's doing all of this and say, "Do you have any bear traps?"
Let's see. I do not have a bear trap in my ear keeper. With the background of game hunter, would it make sense to have bear traps kind of surrounding the premise towards the woods?
For this, I would say yes. I would say it would make some sense for you to have some, maybe like a few bear traps. Nothing too harmful to the bear, but you do have some bear traps to keep you safe in case anything comes crawling near your house.
I have some bear traps currently set up around the premise of my house. That's what you mean.
I'm trying to think of something that like they could do in addition to what they're already doing, and I can't think of anything.
It's a mystery.
I also have my survival knife, and I also have my hypo dart rifle on hand, close by.
Mm.
The hypo darts are going to take that thing down. My normal hunting rifle didn't seem to scathe the dang thing.
Could I have another piece of beef jerky, please?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. I grabbed another piece of beef jerky. No, go ahead.
Okay, so that is Belle's power snack, which is a special move she has. which is pick a favorite snack food whenever you take a moment. Whenever you take a moment to eat and enjoy it, take +1 forward. So I get +1 for whatever I roll next.
Yes, you do.
Yes! I love it.
That's what I love about the Meddling Kid playbook. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
So good.
So well named. Like, the person who made it definitely knew what they were doing. So good.
100%. Love this playbook.
Yep, it's awesome. So, you take your beef jerky, you're happy about it, you do your nice little chews, you start to feel better about whatever the hell that thing was out there. But yeah, you turn on your lights. You didn't hear any more of your trap spring or anything like that. All is pin drop quiet once again.
I'm worried about the neighbors now.
Can you show me where your nearest bear trap is, please?
So, leader, where is my nearest bear trap located?
Your nearest bear trap will probably be a little bit to the right, past your driveway, maybe about, you'd say like 100 feet or so. So you do have to get out towards the driveway and then walk by that way. But it's more like a diagonal sort of like direction, but that would probably be your closest.
Alright, so I take Belle with me, and I open my front door and step out onto the patio with Belle. We're not leaving the premise. We're staying within the safety of the light. And I point in the direction of my nearest bear trap.
Okay.
And I tell her that's going to be the closest one around. You said 100 feet?
Yeah.
About 100 feet that way is my closest one. If memory serves right, this is also the same direction that the creature just came from, right?
The creature came from the left and sort of like made its way towards your driveway, which would be the front, and then went back down the driveway, basically.
And the bear trap
is a little bit to your right, sort of like diagonal, like northeast.
Okay. And I didn't hear that bear trap go off?
You did not.
Okay. I didn't hear it go off at any point either, so either this thing knew what it was or was really lucky and avoided it. It was pretty big, so I wouldn't be surprised at it either.
What if I were to lead the creature into the bear trap?
Are you out of your gosh dang mind?
I'm very fast. I was meant to corral things, you know.
And when was the last time you corralled anything?
I'd like to think Becca keeps me on my toes.
I mean, you know what? That's fair. She's a sprightly young thing. Keeper, would it make sense that probably Becca's parents yelled at Sammy a couple times because of her antics? Because of Becca's antics?
Oh, most definitely. You would probably, Sammy has come towards your house, Becca has come towards your house a few times, trying to, like, hunt with you. And you're like, sure, kid, whatever. Like, you bring your dog, or we'll hunt some things. Come on, let's go. And then your parents are like, no, what are you doing with my child?
You don't know what actual hunting trips is more of just, like, a walk around.
Yes, exactly, of course. But, like, you sort of don't say, no, let's not, because you're 11. You're like, sure. And that's what kind of, like, agitates them most.
Just kind of do a little bit of, like, make-believes going around the premise, and, like, having no ammo on me whatsoever. In fact, I probably have, like, a toy version of my weapon.
Yes.
And I have, like, a toy version for her as well.
Yes.
Oh, that's adorable.
Mm-hmm. But her parents don't want you encouraging that behavior. They want you to just completely ignore it. But you know the truth. But she's not lying. There are things out there.
There are things out there, and when the younger you start them, the more prepared bad they'll be.
Exactly.
Gotta teach them young.
Yeah.
And besides, she's 11. She's usually... This town is safe enough to where we could just play around with it. I have actual toy boys for an 11-year-old.
Oh my god.
One of them's supposed to pop guns.
A pop gun.
Just a little pop rifle.
Alrighty.
Nothing like in Christmas Story. She'll shoot her eye out with that one. But she's old enough, I can totally teach her how to handle a real gun.
Right.
And she's old enough, maybe for like her 16th birthday or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So what are you guys doing? Belle, are you deciding to go outside? Or are you actually letting her? What's the plan right now?
I think. Well, what does Sammy think of it?
I think you're out your gosh darn doggone mind. However, knowing your breed and knowing your background with your family and whatnot and how sprightly Becca is, part of me is still thinking this is some sort of weird ass dream, and I'm gonna go with it. Viciously. Well, not suspiciously, with still a healthy amount of skepticism.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Not as weird as what happened the night my parents died, but whatever. That's a whole other can of worms. I'll go with you on this. But the minute that thing starts getting close to you, I'm going to start shooting at that thing.
Please
Okay.
do.
All right.
But I'm also going to let Belle know where the other traps are, so that way she doesn't accidentally get in one of those traps. And then I'm going to start like going around within the light and start like pointing them out to her, but not in a, because I'm still suspecting that the big creature might still be out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to be overly visual on like where to point them out. In fact, for a few of them, that might be a little bit more dangerous on bears. I'm going to go inside and then just point in the direction from inside the house.
Right then. Okay. So you're basically setting yourself up to make sure that if you see it again, you're definitely gonna hit it this time. No joke. And you are sending Belle out.
Reluctantly.
Sure.
Still a healthy amount of skepticism as to whether or not this is all weird ass dream. What the fuck did I eat?
Awesome.
I need to check my food, make sure I didn't eat anything expired accidentally.
Well, if it is, you can just give it to Belle. She's got a hearty stomach. Right? Although I don't know if Belle would appreciate weird tasting food that's not, beef.
Probably not. She would just throw it out in the garbage for the raccoons.
Which is also why you have the bear traps outside for the food you leave out for the raccoons. They're for the raccoons, not the bears. So Belle, you start to walk outside. You're not seeing, or you're not noticing any other sounds. Again, it's still pin drop quiet. How far out are you going?
First, for the first section, I want to go like just a few feet past the light, and then kind of pause there and pay a lot of attention to my surroundings, and then I'm going to start growling and barking and just generally attracting attention to myself and seeing if that causes the creature to come, or anything else to come out at me.
Right, okay. So, as you're sort of like walking out towards the light, going past it, roll plus sharp. It's not going to be a move. I just want to see something. Roll plus sharp.
Ooh, I'm glad I ate that beef jerky earlier. Okay, so 5.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
as you're sort of walking, you sort of notice that you start to step into something wet. And it's kind of going in the direction, like, down the driveway.
Can I, hold on, let me see. Can I investigate a mystery to, can I roll to investigate a mystery?
Absolutely.
Okay. Much better. 10. Oh, I'm gonna ask,
And we can adjust, if you want to adjust the questions, that's totally fine with me.
okay. Oh, I'm gonna ask what happened here. My first one, because I get 2.
Okay, can I ask that, actually, you know what, that's fine. So what happened here? You're sort of like realizing that you're stepping into something wet, and you sift down, you're not really, it's not some sort of like, it's not water, it's not blood, you know that for sure. It's not water or blood. If you want to smell at it or feel it more closely, it's almost like you've never felt something like this before, but the closest you can think of is sort of like coagulated blood. But you can't really, again, you know it's definitely not blood. It doesn't smell like it.
Is this around the area where the fake police officer was?
Yeah, it is actually.
I
won't let that be your
like
second
that.
question.
Yeah,
I won't let that be your second
might
question.
be the case. Bella's gonna get out of this puddle. Like, she doesn't want to be in it, or near it, really. But
it's not really exactly a puddle. It's more of a trail of, like, globs.
Oh. Okay, in that case, cautiously, slowly, she's gonna follow the trail of blobs.
Okay. Are you...
maybe look back to Sammy and give a quick bark just to be like, hey, pay attention to me. I am.
All right.
I got my rifle in hand.
All right.
You're in the back seat of the- I don't have an actual rifle, but if I did...
No,
well, I mean, like,
rifle.
it probably wouldn't be good for YouTube anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
but like, Sam, I'm sitting out on the patio at this point, and
Yep.
I'm keeping an eye on Belle.
Yep.
And keeping an eye on the surrounding area on Belle, and
Okay.
I would have watched her investigate where that police officer was.
Mm-hmm.
Make me not press the tops now, goddammit.
So you're following the trail, Belle, and you sort of start to notice that, sorry, I have people over. You start to notice that, it's sort of leading towards, like, out to the driveway completely. As you smell this scent, it's leading out towards the driveway, maybe, like, possibly going into town.
And this would be like the first scent that I've smelt since, other than Sammy, right?
Yes, and remember, you still have 2 more questions.
Oh, I do? I thought I only got 2.
Wait, what was your roll? I thought you had a 10.
It was a 10.
Oh, wait, hold. So, wait, yeah, you only asked 1 question. I let you have the other one because it was just a follow-up.
Okay. Alright.
So, I know you asked what happened here.
I don't know if I should ask what's being concealed or where did it go.
Well, you kind of already, I'll be honest, you kind of already know, or at least think you know.
Yeah, where it went.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's being concealed here?
Okay. So you're trying to figure out what this globular or like wet stuff is, and you really like you sit down, you sniff up your paw a little bit, and like it smells, and it's gonna sound weird, but this is kind of what you recognize. It smells like the stuff from Becca's like books, or at least that's what you think she calls them, like the childhood books where she would read. If there's something in those books that this stuff's kind of like smells like or reminds you of. And as you go towards the light, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say I'm gonna slowly take a few steps back.
Mm-hmm.
Again, being very cautious of my surroundings here, and I'm gonna look towards Sammy and shout out to her and say, I think we should go towards town.
If we're gonna go towards town, we're going in my car, my truck. I ain't going on foot with whatever it is out there, being out there. We're going in my truck.
Smart. So, Belle will make her way back over to the light, and Sammy, I guess, to get ready.
I am a vehicle aficionado.
Well, Sammy, as you notice, Belle sort of like trotting her way back towards you. You see, like, she's got something like black around her paws. That she stepped in like something like black and kind of maybe like ooey.
Hey, Belle, let me see your paw real quick.
And then Belle's gonna lift up her paw to Sam and smell and say, It smells odd. I can't tell what it is, but it smells somewhat like the reading things.
So I take my other hand and with a finger just kind of smudge off her paw.
Uh-huh.
What's the consistency of it?
The consistency is sort of wet. You would probably recognize this as ink. Like you probably like spilled some ink from a exploded pen at one point, and you felt it on your hands.
Does it smell like ink to me?
Kind of does, yeah.
So what this is ink. I'll be honest here, I am having flashbacks to original Teen Titans series when they went to Japan. Was she not or something like that? I don't remember the villain's name, but I'm having major flashbacks of that. If this is a thing, Danny would not know this, but out of character, oh my crack. But anyway, back in character. This stuff is ink. Alright, that's real weird. Let's get you cleaned up first, and I take her to the kitchen, to the sink, and I have her put her front paws at the sink, and I just wash her paw off of the sink with some like lukewarm water, some of that Dawn dish soap that removes the grease and oil and whatnot.
It still has that little like duck icon or like penguin icon because this is the first time they came out with like the Save the Animals sort of like campaign from oil spills. It's all the rage now.
Gotta save the good critters. It's the big nasty critters you gotta look out for. But washing the ink off her paw and getting her paw dried off, and then we start heading towards the garage that would be connected to my kitchen, to my truck.
Wonderful. All right, so you getting?
Do you guys mind playing through that for a little bit? I have to take a quick bathroom break.
Go right ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So, Sammy, you're getting in your truck with Belle. You are you taking any additional equipment with you, or is it just going to be...
Yeah. I am also going to be taken with me, because in the character sheet, pick one big game weapon and 2 backup weapons, so I'm going to have my survival knife on my belt.
Okay.
And my hypo dart rifle is going to be sitting right behind the seats, because while it's one of those trucks that's good for off-road and whatnot, has a little like giant, I'd imagine, because vehicle aficionado has like the lights on top of it for driving through the woods at night. It's still going to be kind of one of those like 2-seater trucks.
Yep.
Because she does a lot of shit on her own. So it's a 2-seater, but she could still store things in the back of the seats because it like pulps down and whatnot. And so she's going to store the hypo dart rifle behind the seats, as well as her hunting rifle. But the hunting rifle is going to be on the little back area right behind. That way, it's a quick grab. There's like a little rack that was installed behind her head.
Right.
Behind the headrest.
Right. What does your truck look like? Does it have any additional accessories, or like is it run down? What does it look like?
So, being a vehicle aficionado, I definitely make sure that I have really good equipment for all of my things as a hunter. And so this truck, it's an off-roading vehicle. Great for camping, great for when I go out on the normal seasonal hunting trips. When deer season's around, there's a set of lights hooked up to the top. It's almost like one of those monster truck vehicles, but downsized for commercial use. And nothing too intimidating. It's more utilitarian than anything, instead of being super flashy. But it works like a dream, and the color is just this nice blue, this nice cobalt blue truck.
Ooh.
And the license plate says Monster Baby.
Yes. It's like, is it MNS and then TRBBY or something like that? Yeah.
And there's like the bed of the truck where I have some of like my camping equipment, some of my other hunting equipment, and some other gear, a couple tarps here and there, and then the tarp covering everything just in case a couple tarps wrapped up and whatnot, so that way when I do go out on my hunting or camping trips, I have the tarp to cover everything over. But otherwise, my car is in my garage until I need to go into town for anything.
Mhm. Okay.
And the wheels are, like I mentioned, it's an off-roading vehicle, so the wheels are the kind that are utilized for off-roading. And it's got and it's got like heftier shocks on it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Nice. You got a nice ride.
On the front of it, it's got a bit of like one of those, what you would expect on larger vehicles, the front grille to look like.
Nice. Okay.
One of those bigger ones.
Yep. So, Belle, you joined Sammy as, like, you, like, kind of struggle a little bit at first because of your shorter legs as a border collie.
For the vehicle on the passenger side of me.
Yeah. You have to kind of, like, pick her up from the back. You hop in. You're pretty, like, familiar with the feeling of riding in the car. It's actually kind of nice. You get a little bit excited, but you're not trying to, like, show it. You see her nubby tail kind of, like, wag and thump against the back.
Ooh. Hold up.
Yep.
I have a full tail. Let me go ahead and send you a picture of the
Oh, okay. Because I've seen border collies with the short nubs, and I've seen border collies with the long ones. So I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I just realized that, so that's why I'll just send you a quick photo in the
her
group
tail
chat.
probably looks super nice and slightly fanned out because she's a lady.
It's more like it's more like basically, like, Becca takes care of her so well. Like, for an 11-year-old, she's pretty damn responsible. Except for, trying to hunt monsters on her own and, getting herself into trouble. But she's actually, like, pretty responsible, like, taking care of her dog. That's the one thing she does right. So, she's all fluffy and smells nice.
Yep.
Very well, shiny coat.
That way while she's in my care.
Yes.
I wash her paws and okay, we're just gonna fix this so that way when you do get home, you're not tracking ink in Becca's home. And I don't want her parents getting mad at me again.
So you're driving down, lights on, both blaring down the driveway. That's, I imagine, not paved. Sort of like mostly gravel or dirt road as you're going down. And what Belle said kind of like checks out in a way. Like, after you see, like, with the lights on, there is sort of like a trail of black ink. Sort of like in splotches, big splotches, sort of like scattered down towards the driveway. And it does seem to be going down the driveway all the way out.
Can I make out any shapes that these tracks are making?
Roll plus sharp.
That is an 8.
An 8? So, they kind of look like... The best way you could think of is, like, if... Sort of like a bear paw, but, like, flattened. So it's, like, stretched out almost in, like, more of an oval-like shape. And instead of 4, sort of, like, additional smaller paws at the top, there are 6.
6 legs and 6 digits on each limb. That is something messed up. That was horrible. I've never seen one.
But yeah, and you do see it kind of like sort of, I guess you would imagine like footprints on 6 legs, 3 on each side, going toward the end of the driveway, probably going into town. That's what you would think.
I'm gonna follow the trail. I'm gonna use my vehicle to follow the trail a little bit with those lights on.
Mm-hmm.
Away.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have that light protection.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna just follow the trail a bit to see if it does actually lead into town.
Right. Okay. You go down the driveway, sort of like bumping, sort of like on your way. You're used to it because, it's not a completely paved road, but it's what you got. So you're driving down, looking around, sort of like being cautious, and so be it. It's headed towards town. As you're sort of like coming out and sort of getting on an actual road, maybe like a tops 10-minute drive going down, you see the trail getting smaller and smaller, but you have no other inclination as to like why. It just sort of seems to like fade out. But the trail just leads there. The prints are just getting smaller as you keep going.
Are the car windows open?
Are they?
No. No, they're not open. I don't want anything trying to crawl in here.
Could you please lower the window? I'd like to try and smell the trail.
Yeah, so I just kind of pull off the side a little bit, and then I reach over and wheel the window down.
Crank!
It's not an automatic.
Yeah, you have to roll down.
Those in.
Yeah, totally. I had a car like that.
just kind of pull off to the side of the road, reach over and crank the window down so that way you can hear.
So,
and then once it's cranked down, I start driving off again, continuing following the trail to see if it actually stops at any point, or if it just slowly get smaller and smaller until it just completely flap away.
Mm-hmm.
Does Belle still smell what she smelled earlier?
Roll plus sharp. And I'm only saying this because I'm not saying we'll investigate a mystery, because I know that's one of the questions. Where did it go? So that's basically what you're doing.
Okay, so 8.
8? Okay.
I can math.
I know, right? It's like you would think with 2d6 it would be so much easier to math right away. No. So,
no.
You smell again, sort of outside the window, trying to keep yourself concentrated on that, now you know, ink scent. And yeah, you still catch it. You may not be able to see it on the ground, but you do catch it, and it's still sort of heading towards town.
Okay. We should keep going. The trail continues.
Towards town?
Hmm?
Alright. We're keeping going. And I'm keeping a lookout on the tracks on the road, and also being a safe driver still. And how long before we actually reach town if the trail is still there, or do the tracks stop just before we reach town at any point?
So are you just going to continue to drive and see if the trail ends?
Yeah, I'm just gonna basically paying attention to the trail as I'm driving. I'm driving a little bit slower because it's middle of the night, and even though there's not a whole lot of people out, this just makes driving a little slower a little easier.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep going, keeping an eye on those tracks and my surroundings, making sure I don't accidentally hit anything. And if the trail veers off, I'm gonna follow that. If it goes straight into town, I'm gonna go straight into town following this trail. And noticing that the tracks are getting smaller and smaller, I'm going to also pay attention to see if at any point they just kind of completely disappear from how small and tiny they get, or if they just abruptly stop at any point. And look at my surroundings to see where it is we're at when it abruptly stops.
Okay, so you're driving into town. Belle, you're keeping your nose on the scent of the ink. Sammy, you're keeping your eyes sharp and open and trying to make sure that you stay like attentive to the trail of the ink on the ground. By the time you start to actually sort of like reach into town, sort of like in the middle of the town center, the town square, which you're very familiar with, the trail almost seems to just drop. You don't really see it continue anywhere. And again, it's weird. You would usually maybe hear some people, you know, drunkards on a porch yammering to each other in the middle of the night, or maybe even the laughs of some, you know, no good teenagers up to some mischief. But you're not hearing anything.
So I go and park the car away from the tracks where it was stopped, so that way I can get a better look at the tracks so that I'm not crawling underneath my car to look at them. But I go and park, and I'm keeping those lights on, and making sure that to take a look at any street lamps or street lights that still might be on. Oh yeah, are there any street lights on, by the way? When I'm looking around?
There are like sort of the yellow, sickly, kind of like dull, dim-colored street lamps that like decorate basically the center of the town square. You're still like where you park is sort of like circular, because you're in a circle basically. In the center, you basically have like City Hall, and there are some other buildings to the side. There's an apartment building, kind of like to your northwest. There's a diner further down across from the From the center hall, there's a couple houses to your right, and also like a bake shop. And immediately, pretty much next to you, is also like a children's park. And as you know, if you're familiar with the town, there are other buildings and places you can go, but this is pretty much the center of Willowbrook that you've like found yourself in. That's where you led. So what else are you guys doing at the moment after you park?
After I parked and I see that there are lights in the vicinity of where we're at,
Mm-hmm.
I cautiously get out of my car, my truck, and I step down onto the ground and I look around before to just make sure that the coast is clear before having Belle come out after me. And if there's nothing coming at us at the moment, me and Belle are gonna go to that track, that little trail, and we're gonna investigate that a little further to see if like the shape is still the same, just smaller and smaller and smaller, or if the shape changes. And I'm also gonna look around the track at where it actually stops at. Did the track actually stop right in the middle of town square?
Yes, it did.
I'm going to look around the center of town square to see if there's anything amiss.
All right. Investigate a mystery for you. Belle, what are you doing?
I roll help out.
Oh, okay. So you roll help out.
Okay. Oh my god. I should have had another Scooby snack. I mean beef jerky.
Alrighty.
Okay, I rolled a 3. Nothing happened. Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry.
Alright.
That's fine, because I rolled a 10 plus 2 is 12.
Awesome. So you get to ask me any question, any one question. Or if you still want to, like, ask from the list, that's fine. I'll give you 3 from the list, or any one question you would like.
Okay. Let's see here. Because there is a question here that says, is there anything the monster seems to be avoiding? Could I adjust that question
In what
a
way?
little bit? What's that?
In what way?
So basically, does it seem like the tracks of this monster, did it seem like it was avoiding any of the lights whatsoever?
Okay. So you're at center. You're kind of like walking around the center hall, the city hall building, keeping your eye out for any additional trail. Which direction are you sort of looking in? Are you looking everywhere? Are you scanning around? Are you kind of like paying particular in one area?
So I'm paying particular attention to where the original tracks stop.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna look back from where we came, following those tracks, and I'm gonna see if they kind of like veer in any sort of pattern or whatnot, to see if they were avoiding, like, you know how like with street lamps, sometimes they're far enough away to where there's a little bit of that darkness in like middle.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna see if it like follows that, if there is one.
All right. With a 12 you said you rolled? I would say you would start to see some black splotches in between darkness, but sort of heading towards the opposite side of where you parked. Not a lot, but you do kind of see a couple splotches on the ground toward that way.
Alright, and as I start following those splotches, do I notice any, because this will be my second question.
Sure.
Is there anything that the monster could be utilizing for cover, or did it find anything like a sewer gate or anything like that it could crawl into now that it's at a smaller size?
Let's see. How am I going to answer this?
Do I notice any potholes in the area, basically? Like one of those, like, roadside sewer drains.
Even though Willowbrook, even though you're in the center of the, basically, town, the buildings are pretty far apart that, like, it's a pretty wide space. It's too big to get inside a sewer drain. It's too big to get inside a sewer drain. So if anything, it would probably just try to avoid direct light as much as possible by going in between buildings or alleyways.
Alright, so those are my two questions. So I'm gonna start kind of looking around to see from where those splashes are. I'm going to look around to see if there's any of those buildings with dark spaces in them. And I'm going to call, like, motion Bell to come over to look with me because dogs are better at that.
Okay, so you motion Bell towards you. And what are you guys looking for? Or what are you guys doing?
We're basically seeing if there is any, like, dark areas between buildings. Like, if there's any buildings near us from where those blotches actually end. And I have my hunting rifle at my side at this point.
Any sign of the creature, really.
Okay. Alright, so you guys are just looking for any sign of the creature. Gotcha. So you start heading, basically, it's like north. Like you're on the south side. There's a building, this city hall building in front of you, and then you recognize that the trail is going north. So you walk around, sort of trying to follow and smell the trail. As you're walking by, you guys kind of start to notice, like, are you looking at the buildings around you as well? In some of the windows, it seems that there are, like, shadows of people. Like, you start to walk by towards the diner, and, like, all the blinds are down, but you see, like, figures of people that are, like, presumably sitting down and eating. You're walking towards the apartment building. There are a few, maybe 3 or 4 lights on, and you can see, like, a figure walking by, possibly getting ready for bed, but you don't hear anything as you're following the splotches.
Bella's gonna bark again to see if the shadows react.
Alright. So, like, basically, you, like, for example, you're going down, you turn around, you sort of see, like, fluorescent lights to your right. This is the indication of the diner. You see, like, the flashing dine-in red sign towards your right, and you guys notice. And then, Bella, you give... And then, whatever, like, side silhouetted shadows are there, they seem to turn towards you all immediately at once.
They do anything other than turn towards me?
No, but it just seems that there are, like, shadows of people, outlines, that sort of shift their attention towards you immediately as you bark.
Yeah. Are there any breaks in the blinds at all? Because, like, a lot of blinds will be sectioned off a little bit like have a little bit of an opening, can I from where we're standing, am I able to see through any of the breaks in the blinds to see if I can make out any details of the people?
Not from where you're standing. You'd probably have to get closer because you're kind of like on a sidewalk, and it's sort of a little bit towards, maybe about like again 30 or 40 feet towards you. Probably 30 feet.
Do we notice the figures doing anything else, or are they just like meerkatting at this point?
They're basically meerkatting. In some of the shadows, though, you do sort of start to see blinking red pupils. Some of them blink open as they sort of like...
No!
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Nope.
You guys look behind you, and there are other, like, red pupiled, probably people similar to the police officer standing by those street lamps. You see, like, an old woman with what appears to be almost like a small little dog on a leash. You see another person, probably a paperboy on the bike, but all just silhouettes or shadows from the street lamps, and small beaded red eyes from behind you. They say nothing.
Hell no. Oh, hell no. Yeah, we're... Oh, shit.
Are there any that are in the light? They're all in the shadows.
There are some in the light. There are some on the really dingy yellow street lamps that don't really help make this any less terrifying than it actually is. But yes.
Are there any in the light of my car? Because I left the lights on my car, including the ones on top.
No, but they are around the sides of, like, the sidewalk, so you would have to walk past them to get back to your car, since you parked it on the other side.
God damn it. Oh, and how far away are we from my truck?
I'll give you about, like, 120 feet.
Shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, hell. God damn it. Damn it. Why didn't we just stay in the car? God damn it. Alright, and they're just kind of slowly coming towards us at this point?
No, they're just...
No, they're just standing there?
They're just there. Just...
I haven't gone in this position, my hunting rival. I'm getting prepared. And is there any more of that ink coming off of those silhouettes or no?
Trying to think which one is closest to you. Which one is closest to you? I think probably one that's on the sidewalk of the circular, like, of the circular area that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, they're not showing any ink splotches as of yet.
Alrighty. Is there anything close by that I could pick up and throw at it?
Sure. There's probably, like, you find some, like, slate or gravel on the ground near the sidewalk.
I'm going to pick up the biggest piece of gravel I can find, maybe a pebble or something like that if I'm lucky, and I'll throw it at the closest one to me. And when I do, I'm going to also have my gun.
Sure.
Towards it.
You take a rock pebble sort of like thing and you throw it at one. It's actually like a young paper boy on a bicycle in one of the street lamps. You hear a screech, a blood-curdling screech, and then everything blinks once again, like you did before. And all the people are gone.
Are ink splotches in their places?
Do you go and check?
I at least look around.
Sure. There are ink splotches.
Gosh, I hate this so much.
They'll do her. Quick, run!
Which direction are you going? Are you guys still?
Take it to the truck.
You book it back to the truck. The lights are still on. Like the car's still running. You still got some gas left. You didn't really exactly check, but you got gas. You got enough gas.
Oh no.
Well, I figure I would always make sure I have a decently filled tank of gas.
Yeah, but it's not looking great for some reason.
God damn it.
What do we do?
What you guys doing?
Shit. We're getting in the car. I helped her in the car in the passenger seat.
Yeah, because she's still got short legs. She's still kind of like scratching her way back up.
Come on. We get in the car and I put it in drive and I start heading towards the gas station. Because that is going to be the place that has the most light in this vicinity.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Right then, you head to your local gas station. Everything seems to be fine. You park in the front. Huh?
No, it's just empty.
Empty.
I parked my truck next to one of the actual pumps in making sure that there is light coming from the little canopy.
Yep.
At the pumps.
Yep. It's like a beat down Sunoco. Seen some days.
Get in a position to receive some gasoline, so that way I can like fill my tank up. And is there a gas station convenience store or?
Yeah, there's sort of like a small convenience store in the front where you would usually pay like a register and then get some snacks, things like that.
Are the lights on in there?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna have Belle come with me.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at this point, she's sticking by my side. I'm not keeping an eye on the side. All right. Well, we should probably take a look to see if there's anyone living still here, an actual human.
Mm-hmm.
And we go over to the gas station convenience store. Is the door unlocked? Can I actually get in?
Sure. It's unlocked. You open it. Walk in.
Would I know the name of who runs the store?
Yeah, his name's Johnny. You know him, kind of like a Johnny's.
Johnny.
He's a middle-aged man, kind of baldish, sort of like buzz cut haircut, kind of stalkish. Usually just wears like the regular gas station vest with a name tag. Oiled up like shirt, probably from doing a few car oil changes, and like dirty jeans. But you know him, he's a pretty friendly guy. He's got his back towards you as he's like restocking some cigarettes. What can I do for you?
Thank heavens you're not one of them ink people. Oh, God.
Belle's gonna growl and see if he reacts at all.
He's still sort of like stocking the shelves. What can I do for you?
Oh,
Honey?
oh, he's just. Belle's
Yep.
gonna kind of
That's my
nudge
name.
into Samantha.
Johnny's my name. That's right. What can I do for you?
He's acting just like the policeman.
And I still got my gun on my side, too. Out of character. Johnny, you alright? Look at me. Johnny, look at me.
And he starts to he slows down on his sort of like chore. He turns around slowly Hey, Sammy. What can I do for you? As you see, like, a Cheshire-like grin sort of, like, expanding past his cheeks. It's almost looking, like, unreal and painful, like a claymation, as it reaches up Joker style. What can I do for you, Sammy?
Shoot him!
I pick a bell and I run back.
Why did you shoot him?
We know you two are here, Sammy. You don't need to run. And as he sort of like screams out as you guys book it back to the truck.
Yeah. I picked up bell, book it back. I actually rolled for this too. It was like, evens I run, odds I shoot the fucker.
Again, you kind of like freak out as you see in like the grin, and you kind of like you shoot at the ground basically by accident as you mean to shoot, but your hand didn't raise up far enough, and you're like nope, and you run tail back to the truck.
Shoving bell back into the truck.
He sort of like slams the front door open as he watches you make your way back into the truck. We know you're here, Sammy. You and that little dog of yours.
Point. Seeing that this thing's coming after me, I'm gonna cock my gun and then I'm gonna shoot at it.
Right, roll to kick some ass.
Right. And there is my boyfriend coming through my door. At least I hope it's my boyfriend. Okay. Alright, so kick some ass.
You got it, baby.
While she does that, could Belle tip her pack over and try and get the camera that she carries?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
And then
You got...
I got a 9.
Oh, you got a 9? It works. You got a 9. Awesome. So you blast him, and you shoot. You get him on his right shoulder. He goes back to the ground for a moment, and then as he's sort of like making his way up, still with that smile and that grin on his face, the manic eyes, he is completely bleeding black ooze. Or black substance.
I cock my rifle again, and then I shoot him a second time.
Alright. Kick some ass.
While she does that, can Belle try and take a photo with her camera?
Sure. I'm gonna say for you, it's gonna be act under pressure, because you're kind of freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to roll another kick-ass?
Yes.
Okay.
So for you, Belle, that's gonna be plus cool, and then for you, that's gonna be plus sharp.
Gonna be a 6.
Gonna be a 6. You just barely scrape the left side of his face, right over here, and like you see a little bit of blood dripping down now, but not definitely blood. It is black ink, black ooze that's kind of like crawling down the sides of his face. A lot sort of like venom. That sort of like Cheshire-like grin. He's just standing there and watching you as you shoot. Not making any moves. We know you're here, Sammy.
Oh my god.
You and your little
I rolled
dog.
a 9.
You rolled a 9 to take a photo?
To use the camera with the flash, if possible.
Sure. You take a flash photo of this guy. Is it one of those, can I ask what kind of a camera it is? Is it like one of those that immediately prints, but it takes like a little bit of a second for it to print?
Oh, yeah, like an old Polaroid? Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Sure, okay. Yeah, you sort of like grab your pack, you're still hanging out, you're trying to balance it on the top of this car window that's open, and then you sort of like finagle your nose on the top, and you just manage to push down onto the button. And as you do, you sort of like gently take the camera back into inside the car and let it print later on. You don't know what it is, but like it does something. Becca likes it. She points it at things, and like things come out of it. So then it prints out, and nothing comes up. It's just black.
Things in the photo?
Nothing's in the photo. Nothing printed. It's just black.
Sammy.
What? What's up, Bill? Hold on.
So cute.
What's the flavoring on top of that? Absinthe. And you didn't put anything in mine? Love that. Since I'm halfway done anyway. Since I'm halfway done with that one anyway.
You say absinthe?
Absinthe, yeah.
I heard absinthe.
Ah, yes, absinthe. For when you no longer want to know what your mind is doing.
Right.
I went to a chocolate shop in New Hope, and they sell absinthe truffles. Amazing.
What?
Absinthe truffles.
This in my life.
I think they were called the Green Fairies.
Oh.
I was like, yes.
So that's awesome.
But yeah.
So I still have my shotgun trained on Ink Boy Johnny,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of cock my head over my shoulder, still keeping my eyes on Ink Boy Johnny here,
Mm-hmm.
and I yell to Val, "What is it, Val?"
Do me a favor. Try shooting at something else. At the ground or one of the gas pumps.
I'm gonna take my hunting rifle, and I'm gonna shoot at the ground next to Ink Boy Johnny.
You shoot it at the ground. And basically, you see the spark go off, and you see a little bit of smoke from the blast of the shotgun. Doesn't seem weird or anything, just like what you would expect. There's still a little bit of like a bullet hole or like an indent on the ground.
Okay. There's no ink coming out of that bullet hole though, is there?
Not that you can see with your keen doggo eyes.
What do y'all keen dog guys see?
Oh
What do
my
you
God,
dog
it's
guys see?
the redneck version of Lord of the Rings.
Look with your special
Hell
doggo
yeah.
eyes. My brand.
Now, what do you see with your keen dog eyes?
Okay.
All right, so what are you guys doing right now? Johnny's-
Everything was ink, but I was
Okay.
obviously wrong.
All right. Well, Johnny's still staring. He's still bleeding, but he's still staring at you with like a manic stare. The Cheshire grin sort of like curling up. Really looks like it hurts. Like there is no way any human should be able to stretch their skin that much.
Would I have noticed the flash of the camera that Belle used just now?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Belle, hand me that camera of yours. I want to test something here.
Okay. Belle does that.
Okay. And I take that camera.
Yep.
I put my gun to the side and I point the camera at Ink Boy Johnny with the flash on.
Yep.
And I start hitting that take picture button to flash it to death. See if that does anything.
So the flash is coming at him. Poof, 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 poof. You can see he's not moving. He's not doing nothing. But he's just standing there and then not really moving.
Shoot.
Not reacting.
Oh, wait a minute. And wait, is he like in the doorway at all?
He's sort of like at the front, like just at the front of the doorway.
Okay.
Like he just opened the door and he's like standing at it.
close is Ink Boy Johnny to one of the pumps? And could I get like one of those like pump pump nozzles and spray him down?
Ink Boy Johnny probably, because you're parked, right? And you got the pump to your left. Ink Boy Johnny's probably at around 20 feet to your right. You could try to spray him.
Does it reach?
Yeah, you'd have to do it over your car though, because like the pump's to you, and then you're sitting here, and then.
So, I basically I climb on top of my car with however long this can reach, and then I shoot the oil at Ink Boy Johnny to see if that does anything. Wash him away. He's ink.
As you sort of take the pump and like start to like spray him with the gas, he just makes a few steps back, sort of backwards, so that he doesn't get hit by the gas. Still staring.
About this now, Ink Boy.
We know you're here, Sammy. You and your dog.
I don't like that.
I just made the realization I probably should not be saying ink person. I don't know if that would stir up any negative connotations.
I don't know of any. I'll be honest.
I don't either.
I don't.
Okay.
But yeah, as you try to spray him with the gasoline, he sort of slinks back. We know you're here, Sammy. And like he closes the glass door. And he seems to sort of like go back in that same position that he was when you guys came in. You can see through the through the glass a little bit, and he's going back. Just putting up cigarettes.
Obviously, in that gas station convenience store, there's probably liquids in there, like waters and whatnot. I'm busting in there, grabbing some of them waters and opening those water bottles and spraying them down with it while his back's turned around.
Sure. You go and you spray it with water. Roll act under pressure. So that's a plus cool.
Can I roll help out?
Sure.
Going to be a straight roll for me. Ooh, an 9.
Yeah.
That's an 11 for me.
And so what did you roll?
+1.
Oh, so 12. So you may choose either to do what you wanted to do and something extra, or do what you wanted to do at absolute perfection. So, as you're spraying them with water, is there anything else that you're wanting to do or grab? What else would you want to accomplish? What would be nice?
There are any mops close by.
Any what?
Spray them down with water and mop them. Hit them with a mop if there's a mop close by.
Okay, all right. So you're basically pulling out, you're opening the cooler glass doors, and you're taking whatever liquids, maybe like alcohol, water. You're throwing bottles at him, and he's getting wet. And you can see, like, later on, as he's getting more soaked, his body and clothes and skin basically start to liquefy. Sort of like watching dry clay turn wet, and then basically into mud, and then it darkens and blackens, and you basically whack him. You take him up, as you see on the side, you whack him in the front, and he goes down with that grin. But he's sort of like dissolving into a puddle of ink as he slams his head into the ground. We know you're here, Sammy. We know you're here. We know you're here.
I'm just gonna see if there's any bottles of dish soap, and I'm gonna fucking clean them up with the mop. I'm cleaning this ink mess.
Oh my god.
This is clean in there. Cheshire freak.
As he dissolves into this ink puddle, yeah, you fill it with dish soap. It's sort of like weird because you can see the little circles of soap on top of the ink as you're just like mopping it away. It's really hard to mop. There was a lot of ink in that big man. But you're on cleaning duty, and that's what you're doing. You're cleaning up this ink man whatever thing. Belle, roll plus sharp for me.
Can I?
Oh, you go first,
Sorry.
actually.
I was gonna say, while she does that, can I watch, like, obviously after Johnny has been taken care of, Belle keep watch outside to, like, look outside the windows and see if anything else is happening?
Sure. Roll plus sharp.
Oh, wait. I have a beef jerky, please.
I actually go over to where the beef jerkies are, and I'm opening it up and feed her a couple pieces of beef jerky.
Sure enough, easy enough to do. You grab her some snacks.
I'm just going to eat a couple myself. That was a hell of a workout.
Works.
And with that, I rolled an 8.
You rolled an 8, okay. Even with the Scooby snack, okay. Alright. Okay, alright. That's what I'm calling it.
Maybe we should call it the spooky. Spooky
snack.
Bell snacks. Bell snacks.
As you roll an 8, you hear that familiar growl again. Coming from like a darkness that you could see before the next street light, before the next street lamp. You start to hear that familiar growl, and see this looming wired creature is sort of like crawling towards you with that same road. And it's starting to almost make its way, sort of like circling the gas station slowly with all the 6 legs.
I'm going to do my best to create a water barrier around us, towards the front of the door and the outside, like on the tiles still, like where the door is at that is coming towards. I'm doing a water barrier.
Sure.
So, you know how in older days, I'm not sure if this would still be too old for the 90s, but like, you know how they used to have those soda nozzles that they would dispense soda with? There one of those in the convenience store.
Unfortunately, no. That would be a great idea, but
this... Can Bill just grab one of those
in the diner? Yes.
If you were in the diner, yeah, you would find one of those, but unfortunately, you're in the convenience store.
Yeah.
But that is a good idea.
Bill's just gonna help out and grab any liquid and, like, maybe break the bottles with her teeth and just kind of follow suit, essentially.
Sure. You kind of make sort of like a water fort around, are you only doing it around the convenience store?
Nope, we're gonna do it in pretty much any area just to surround us within the store on the tile. So that way if it tries to get in from any other side, it's gonna meet some water on the way.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Okay.
We're even including some of the soda on this. When we run out of water.
Hey, it's not yours. You gotta deal with it. So.
Johnny's not here.
Yeah.
Johnny's not here.
Johnny's disintegrated.
Yes, I know. Johnny's dead, and so is the rest of town. This is I Am Legend shit right here.
So as he's encircling sort of like the gas station, not avoiding the light, you notice some of the ink that's falling off of him is falling onto the water, but not really having a reaction the same as the people, or at least the same as Johnny. But he's still sort of encircling you guys. And now...
So the big bad is light, and The minions are water. Interesting.
Ooh. Belle, hand me your camera again.
Yeah. Belle does that.
I start flashing the thing whenever I see it.
So you start flashing the creature. Act under pressure for me.
Woo!
Straight roll again for me because my cool is a 0. An 8.
Okay. All right. So for an 8, let me double check something.
This creature is so bullshit.
So as you're flashing it, it's sort of like you have to get close enough for you to take the picture and for it to actually have an effect, because you are also surrounded by lights from the canopy of the gas station. So you get close enough, and it's sort of like a real version of like.
Yelling at this thing too as I'm doing that.
Yes, it's sort of like a real version of Where the Wild Things Are. This thing has like actually many eyes that are actually shut, except for the 2 large ones with nothing but black pupils, and that huge teethy grin that crawls basically up to the side of its face. It's completely flat with 2 slits of a nose that you think is maybe where it breathes. You're not sure. But it roars and screeches back, and then it turns and it whips you with its tail. Take 1 harm.
Oh. Can Belle attack the tail?
And you are knocked back. On your back. Yes, you can attack the tail at roll kick some ass.
Okay.
I need a pencil. Yes. Hold on. I need to find a pencil.
6.
6. You try to
So I just missed.
You just miss as you go and you yip towards it, as you growl with like your huge doggo mouth as much as you can, and you try to bite, but you just miss it as it like screeches back and sort of like pounces its way back into town, away from you guys. Sammy, you're knocked back. Got you good right in the stomach. There's sort of like a sliver of black ink right across you, and it does not feel nice.
I'm gonna hobble back into the gas station and go into their bathroom and wash that off as quick as I can. I don't want to leave that thing on there too long.
Right. So you go in and you wash yourself. The ink is definitely on your shirt and it is stained. But you take off and then you sort of wipe down onto your stomach, and like it got a good graze on you. Like there's a pretty good cut, but you clean it off well enough, and like it almost like stings, kind of like alcohol, as like you try to wipe it away off of your wound. But
I'm actually gonna see if there is any like alcohol to disinfect myself.
There is plenty of liquor. There is plenty of liquor.
Any rubbing alcohol or anything like that?
Yeah, like you check probably like behind the mirror of the gas station. It's like basically a cabinet.
Like maybe in the pharmacy section of
the
gas station, depending on how big it is and how stocked
it is. You don't find rubbing alcohol, but you find alcohol wipes, basically. Like packs.
I'm gonna use a combination of the alcohol wipes and the actual liquor. Get the most out of my disinfection, and also utilize some of the liquor to get out the ink on my shirt.
Yeah, fair enough. And you.
Wound is disinfected as fuck.
It definitely is. And you smell like whiskey, which is nice.
Better to smell like whiskey and have whiskey stains than risk having ink, whatever this is. At this point, I'm thinking maybe the ink from the creature infected the rest of the town somehow. Like, if that's the case, this is some I Am Legend bullshit up in here.
Yeah.
And that movie hasn't even come out yet. Why?
This is the true prequel to that movie.
The true prequel to this movie.
This is the idea that started it.
Zombies. It was fucking beastly ink machine bullshit people.
So
Bendy and the ink machine.
Oh my god.
So you basically wipe yourself off. It stings, and you feel a little nauseous for a while, but with enough alcohol in you and enough alcohol off of you, because you can't help yourself, you're gonna take a few swigs. It's free alcohol.
It's free alcohol at this point, and I've seen some shit.
Shit, exactly. So you're all good for the moment. What are you guys doing?
I think.
Oh, is the monster still out there?
No.
Recoiled?
Yep.
Now. Alright. Do I know... Does this store... not the store. Well, I could also look for things in the store as well. But, does this town have a toy shop? And would I know where it is?
Yeah, you would know where a toy shop would be. A toy shop would probably be... a few... you know of one, like, next to a boutique and, like, a couple little small shops. They kind of, like, come in, like, a row, sort of like those... Basically, like rows of glass, like, small businesses that you could see in some small towns where they have, like, a display. You know, like a small little, like, rinky-dink toy shop not too far from here, maybe a few blocks down to the west.
Okay. Also, do we have something equivalent to, like, a Walmart or anything like that in town?
You do. But that would be on the other side.
Alright.
Basically.
Also, what time of year is it? Is it, like, winter, summer, fall, spring?
This is like, late spring, early summer. So it's pretty warm.
Okay.
But not, like, terribly warm.
So I turn the bell. Alright. So we know that the big motherfucking Cheshire Cat is afraid of the light. And we know that its little ink goblins are afraid of water. So, either which, my hunting rifle isn't going to work for shit on them except to bring them down, to bring the ink people or these clay golem sort of things down a little bit, knock them down a bit before I can get them with some soap and water. What I was thinking, we hit up the local stores or the toy store, see about getting us some water guns, water pistols, fill them up with soap and water to bring them, and maybe some rubbing alcohol mixed within that, and shoot the clay people down. And we need to also find ourselves a giant flashlight, or we could just use the car after I fill it up with gas. Go after the big guy.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
I'm a MacGyver this shit.
Perhaps we should go after the big fella first, as he seems to be the most problematic.
Now, the thing is, we don't know if the big fella has any further control over the clay people, and we don't want a horde of them coming after us, because if you remember, down in Town Square, there was a fuck ton of them before they blinked out of existence, probably the doings of the big creature. So it's better to be prepared, better to have it and not need it, than to need it and not have it.
Oh Oh yes, by all means, let us go get these water guns from the toy store. I'm quite familiar with that place. I think it's a good idea. But let's then make it our priority to go to the big monster.
Yeah, might as well. And we can shoot down some Clay Goldens on the way. So,
why not?
So I'm going to collect all that there is in alcohol and soaps and waters and whatnot, get that loaded into the bed of my truck.
Sure.
You could probably put a few in the pack, on Belle's back as well.
Yeah, next to the camping gear. Yeah.
If in like the back rooms of the convenience store.
Yep.
I'm going to look to see if there's any of those like tote crates.
Yeah, there are a few of like water and soda and.
Yeah, so I'm going to fill those up with water, soda, soap,
and
get them loaded up into my truck. Fill her up with gas. Make sure she's got a full tank.
Awesome.
And then we're going to drive over to whichever's closer, the toy store or this world's equivalent Walmart, and we're going to look for some water guns and maybe some super soakers. Oh, what do you want to look for at the gas station?
Before we leave the gas station, you know how they have those, like, that little setup of lighters near the cigarette section? We should grab all of those lighters, because I just Googled it, and ink is flammable.
Yeah. But would the dog know that?
Would the dog know that? That's interesting.
So, okay, that's fair, because considering she didn't know what ink was, probably not.
Not many times.
They might know it.
To play it out in story, I'm gonna go back in there to see if I missed anything, and I'm just gonna look around. And do I see in the store a rack, anything that would indicate any of the like flammable stuff?
I mean, you would see like a little stack of like on the counter. There's some like big lighters, basically, for said cigarettes. But that's about it.
Alright. So Keeper, would I need to make something equivalent to an intelligence check to just figure it'd probably be good for extra light and whatnot against the big guy to probably bring the lighters with me?
I'll say since you're a big game hunter, you've used a few Molotov cocktails in your time, and also because you're a redneck kid who's probably played around with alcohol and lighters plenty of times in your lifetime. So you kind of like, as you're kind of grabbing... Yes, exactly. As you're kind of like grabbing water and soda, you're still grabbing the liquor, taking a few swigs, and then you kind of look at it and you're like, oh shit. Like, as you're putting stuff away, you're kind of like, yeah, actually, you know what? Mm-hmm.
Real quick, when you brought up Molotov cocktails... My first thought was, Liz, what kind of hunting are you doing?
No, it's not what I'm hunting. It's what she's hunting. That's the difference. She's not just a regular hunter.
I mean, oh, right.
So
as I'm taking a few swigs of the liquor, as I'm collecting all the liquor here, I was like, wait a minute. Molotov cocktails. I look for any extra rags in like the back, any of that would have been put on sale for purchase, and then I grab all the lighters and then pack that all in the truck.
Yep, and you are fully stocked for a weird party that includes a lot of fire, probably.
Bonfires.
Bonfires. Exactly.
Bonfires.
Mm-hmm. So you gather all the stuff. you're making your way towards the toy store, and for expediency's sake, I'm not gonna have you, like, roll to get water guns. But on your way there, a little bit as you're preparing for whatever may be coming, every once in a while you still see sort of like a shadow figure pop and then come and pop out, pop in and pop out as you're gathering, but they don't really seem to be doing anything to you yet.
Does Belle recognize any of these?
Shadow figure I see as I'm driving past them.
Say that again. Say that again, Belle.
Does Belle recognize any of the shadow people from people she might know around town for her wanderings?
Oh yeah, like they all look like people you would know.
Ooh.
But you just can't really tell any faces. But you can see like physical features. They all look like people from town.
Yeah.
That you've seen before, but you can't really see their faces or smell them.
Kind of like their faces were smudged around a bit, so there's no like specific detail in the faces.
More like conveniently, there's always a shadow on their faces, so you can't really tell any features.
Every single one of them, I drive past. I'm just like,
and they all sort of like move their heads towards you as you drive by.
yo. I know your weakness now.
So, where are you guys going, or what are you doing? You're trying to find Big Boy, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to try and find him?
Did I still need a roll to find like any like water guns or super soakers?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay.
You definitely found him.
Okay. And I get it all like loaded up, mix in like liquor, rubbing alcohol, soap in the water, in the water guns, in the super soakers.
Yep.
And then with the Molotov cocktails and like making sure my lights on the top of my truck are still working good.
Yep.
And I'm getting a couple Molotov cocktails set up, keeping them all in like little crates so that way they're not all like falling over in the car and whatnot.
Okay.
But getting those rags in the alcohol soaking.
Sure. Okay. And you do so without really any issue. Belle, you're just sort of like keeping watch and making sure that she's safe. What are you guys doing at this point now? You still have the car on, the lights are on,
Should we go out and look for it?
So what we're gonna do now is this thing is out there. We don't know who all is left alive or if we're the only ones left. I am legending this. So we're gonna go fucking find this thing. I'm gonna see if there's a new trail that popped up. So we're gonna head back to City Hall or the town square.
Yeah, sure. Easy enough. You're driving by, keeping your like hands close to the wheel as like you're ready for anything. Yep. Are you serious? That's so good. Yeah, you're driving down. You sort of like recognize that same patch as before, going sort of like what was the direction? Eastward. But now the trail is a little bit bigger. And then again, it's sort of winding around any like light or well lit areas.
Get your bitch. Giant ass creature.
As you sort of like make your way towards the library. And like the splotches become bigger and bigger and bigger. And as you sort of slow down and notice, it's making like a beeline straight for the inside of it.
the shit I'm hunting. The internet's not a real big thing yet.
Sammy's some kind of prophet. She just doesn't give a shit about that part of her life. Oh god. I mean, she does have a +1 in weird. That's where her +1 in weird comes from. Is her out of time references to shit. That's just way ahead of her time. It's like, wait. And then 10, 20 years though, it just makes sense to them. It's like, oh.
Imagine.
That's what she meant. Okay.
Imagine in a few more years when, like, YouTube is new and you're making, like, cryptid videos. Like, really old cryptid. Like, with a phone camera that's, like, really pixelated. It's out here. I know it. Y'all don't know.
All of a sudden, like, a giant green... All of a sudden, Sammy pans over to a giant green ball.
But yeah, you guys have noticed that that's where that trail leads, and Belle, you're smelling the ink. It is very strong coming in from the direction of that building.
Right. So we get to the library. We park in the parking lot of the library, and looking around and seeing that the trail goes into the library, like through the front doors of the library, right?
Yeah, it does.
Alright. So I'm getting my super soaker that I found. Filled to the brim. I'm getting 2 of them out, having the straps on. So I have a super soaker on each side, got a couple other super soakers tucked in, like, clapped onto my belt. Got a couple on Belle.
Sweet.
I was gonna say, can Belle have one just like in her mouth? She's gonna have 3. She's gonna have 3 just in case. and one of the bigger ones strapped onto her back as well.
Sure.
They've like rigged it up and tied it so that when she kicks her back leg, it pulls the trigger. So that way she has some sort of like rigging to like shoot herself.
I swear I would usually make you roll for this, but I am not going to. Because, like, 1, it's a one shot, and 2, that's amazing. So,
and also,
for now.
Also making sure that the camera itself has, like, some extra batteries and whatnot, and then it got a couple, like, got maybe, like, a bag filled with a couple of, like, pre-made Molotov cocktails, just in case, and having, like 5 lighters.
Sure. Keep that on a dog covered in fur. Nothing will go wrong.
No. The satchel's on me. The satchel's on me with the Molotov cocktail.
Oh, okay. I thought you were putting both on. I was like, yes, put the lighters.
She needs something. No, these Molotov cocktails are mine. They are not going nowhere near the dog.
Good. I was like, yes.
Just give her a couple bottles of liquid or something.
You got the water good.
She's gonna have water. At least she's gonna have water. Yeah. And then also having a pack of beef jerky on her as well. Yeah. Just like a little sack in front of her so she can put her head down and grab the beef.
It's like one of those packs from snow rescue dogs.
With the little pocket. Yeah. Rescue dog thing.
You rescue dogs from like avalanches.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a little barrel full of beef jerky. And then I'm going to have a couple packs of beef jerky in my backpack as well.
Y'all are prepped for whatever this is. So what are you doing?
We're about to head into this library.
Uh-huh.
We're at the front door. I look to Belle. You ready to fuck straight up? Hey. Is there any chance that we can open the front door quietly?
Roll act under pressure.
Okay. Oh, for cool, so 12.
So, sure. You can either add something extra or do what you want with absolute perfection.
What I would like to do is have Sammy open the door just a little bit and have Belle, I don't know if you guys have ever seen dogs like crawl, just have her be sneaky and see like if she can poke out the place before they run in guns a-blazing.
Abso-freaking-lutely. So, Sammy, you kind of like open up the door holding the water gun gently, and then like you see Belle sort of like go down on all fours, and you're kind of wondering what she's doing for a second, but then she starts to actually like crawl inward with her 4 paws, sort of like, and wiggle her way in. It's a really
I have to keep this dog now.
it's a really well trained dog.
Left in town, I'm keeping this dog.
It's a really well trained dog. You're like, shit. So you set out what you want to do.
Becca training you with?
Yeah.
She wants to be a detective. She has to have a partner.
Oh, well, this is some military grade. This is some police dog grade shit.
We don't know what her parents do.
Her parents are strict as shit. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was with the police.
So you set out what you want to do. So are you getting off the ground at any point, or are you just like staying there on the ground?
As soon as I get like behind something, so like if I stand up, I'm not completely exposed. Maybe I go behind like a bookshelf or a counter or something, and then just kind of peek up or around it, depending on what's nearby, and just kind of see if I can get my bearings and see if there's anything in the immediate area.
And as I follow Belle, I'm going to be crouching down, having the super soaker that I have in hand, ready to go, cocked and ready to go, and crouching down and following her to the nearest hiding spot.
Sure. So you're going inside. There's basically like, Belle, you recognize there's a counter to your left side. Becca's been taking you here pretty often. This is where she gets her resources for her investigating as well. So you're kind of familiar with the smell of this place, and the layout. There are a few sections to the library that you know of. Basically, to the front of you, to the north of you, a little bit further down, is sort of like a section where there's like a whole row of computers, like a couple rows of computers for people to use and for their own research, and like papers. A little bit to the left side, sort of like northwest, there's a little reading area for kids with a whole bunch of children's books. There's the back section behind the counter where you think they keep most of their files and other books. And to the right is basically continuous rows of books that eventually leads out into another bigger room with like a more... So basically a central area for people to read and to get more books and to sort of like lounge. But yeah, as you guys enter, you sort of like notice a little bit of a splotch as you walk. It sounds like wet. Do either of you have a source of light?
Yeah, it doesn't,
I'm pretty sure. So yeah, Sam should have like some sort of flashlight, or I could just bring out one of the lighters because I put like 5 in my pocket. I could just bring out one of the lighters and start lighting that.
Sure. You light one of the lighters. You get a little bit of light. Basically, as you're looking at...
Hold on, I actually have lighters too. Hold on.
Oh my goodness. She is like ret to go for this. While we have this short intermission, check out our social media. Hey! Oh my god, Ryan's gonna hate us.
I have a jar of lighters.
Ryan is going to see this and be like, what the heck, you guys? Why are you bringing lighters into our stream? No.
I like fire.
And to be fair, I also fed this. I also fed this into you. I'm a little bit of an instigator, I apologize.
So I bring out one of my lighters and light it up and, like, point it to where that ink spot is.
So you kind of look down with the lighter and you sort of realize there are, like, not exactly streams of water. The more you would probably describe this is almost like veins. They're sort of like pulse that are black. And they kind of crawl and fan out on the ground. And like you keep looking and it's like crawling on the bookshelves and around the vicinity of the building. Sort of these pulsing black veins that sort of like...
Is it like physically pulsing?
Yes, sort of like a heartbeat. Sort of like if you were to look down at your own like blood vessels. That's exactly what it looks like. And it like pulses.
Look at this face right now as she's looking at this. Like... With the lighter still lit, she's gonna see if that's flammable by sticking the flame into that part that she's at right now. See if that just lights up.
So you're putting the lighter towards the veins? Are you doing it on the ground or on the wall or on one of the bookshelves?
Right where she's at, where she first sees a vein.
Okay, so that would probably be on the ground by your feet.
Yep.
You basically hear a little shriek, a little hiss of like a what you think would be a small creature, but you hear it almost everywhere. And like it sort of like recoils back a little bit at the side of the fire, and you light up basically the rug underneath you. But you hear like wriggles and screeches, and they begin to pulse a little bit at a faster pace.
So I'm take out one of my Molotov cocktails.
I was just gonna say.
Yep. And I'm gonna get closer to where that giant heart thing is.
Well, you don't.
When I get close.
You don't see a heart. All it is veins around you. Sort of like almost, imagine like ivy, but like vein-like. So it's everywhere, basically encapsulating the library, but it gets like, you see it less towards the back and more towards your right side as it kind of like continues. It almost like it's crawling out from that direction.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna follow the veins to see if they actually all connect to a central point. I'm gonna look for the central point of these veins.
Right? Okay. What about you, Belle? What are you doing?
She's gonna do the same thing, but still trying to stay as, like, covert and off the path as possible.
Yeah, I should that's probably a good idea. I should probably stay as covert as possible.
And then, at the same time, she's probably gonna, squirt a little bit of water onto one of the veins as well, just to see what reaction that has.
Okay, so you squirt a little bit of the water. It seems to sort of sizzle a bit, kind of like what Johnny did, but it still sort of like squishes down and liquefies and then like starts to slowly come back.
Okay.
But you do notice a small
alright.
reaction at least.
Okay, let's search for the center point, I guess.
Does Belle tell Sammy what she discovered at any point?
Assumed that that they were close enough for her to see, but yes, then Belle would tell her. Seems like there's kind of... Sorry.
No, you're good.
I think the veins seem to almost regenerate. It's very odd. Perhaps we should try multiple forms when we find the centerpiece.
Maybe we can try a combined form of the fire and the soap and water mixed with alcohol and whatnot, because when I put my lighter to it, it receded a little.
Yes.
When I brought the fire away from the part of the van that I was at, did it regenerate back to where it was, or?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Yeah, we might need to try a combined effort.
So you guys are...
First and then putting it out.
So you guys are like sort of following the aisle in the middle. There are bookshelves to the right and to the left of you. You sort of almost start to hear a pulse from the veins. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. As it's very clear that they sort of start to grow a little bit bigger and encapsulate more of the room around you. And then you get to the front doors before the lounge area, and they are very much covered in veins. Like, the best way I can describe is, like, you know that scene from the first Harry Potter? Those weird sort of, like... Devil snare, basically, but more ink.
Yay!
Uh-huh.
Is there any way to get through the doors?
Oh, you can. I mean, like, it's covering the doors, but you can basically reach to the knob and turn it.
Or is it like double doors, like French door style, or just a single door?
It's sort of like French doors, so they're double doors.
Are the veins covering both doors, like kind of
Yes.
keeping them together? Okay.
But they're not keeping them together, but you can definitely see that they're, like, coming in and out of the cracks of the doors. But they are closed.
Oh, interesting.
So with my lighter in hand, in one hand I got my lighter, and then I'm gonna put my super soaker down, and with my other hand, my free hand, I'm gonna with both hands start going for the doorknob, using the fire to shrivel away some of the veins for a bit, so that way I'm not touching those things. All right.
As you do so, you bring your light toward it. It basically screeches in a very high-pitched tone and recoils as it sort of like snakes its way around the flame, and like you make just enough room for you to take the knob and turn it and then push the door open.
Get that fucker open.
You kick it open. And you basically see the room, which you are familiar with. You've been in this room before as you do your research, but it is almost completely encapsulated in black, from the floors to every single bookshelf, and even the ceiling as it sort of like swirls and crawls down. And in the center of the room, there is a table spread with what seems to be another book spread open, huge, but there's like this strange oozing like ink and vein sort of combination coming out from this book at the far end of the table, and there is a woman.
That's right.
Or what seems to be a woman in a hooded sort of like cloak, and she smiles wryly. And she goes, "Hello, Sammy. Hello, Belle."
Do I recognize the voice?
Do you recognize the voice? What do I make you roll?
I think that would be a sharp.
I would say either, I will give you the, either sharp or cool.
I can't use manipulate someone, can I? On this creature.
She's more trying to identify who it is, so I wouldn't say she's manipulating anything right now.
No. I mean, could I roll to manipulate the hooded
6.
creature?
You don't know who this is. No, she kind of like stands there and she goes, "Hello, Sammy. Hello, Belle. You're the last ones. Interesting. Well, do have fun with my baby." And you hear as the creature bursts its way behind you through those double doors. It stands and growls that huge grin in those eyes, and now all the additional red eyes are open and all fixated on and pointed towards you. And
Cocktail!
I'm bringing out one of my Molotov cocktails. Lighten her up.
All right, and
Lighten her up.
the woman disappears in sort of like a smoke figure, and she's no longer there. And so you light her up. You roll either act under pressure or kick some ass.
So the thing is, though, I'm not rolling it. I'm not throwing it at the creature right away. I'm going to throw it right in front of the creature, so that way it's at its feet.
Sure.
Because while it's connected to everything, it can possibly light up the whole thing.
Sure. Okay.
Actually, no, wait. Before I roll anything, that book. Actually, an idea.
Well,
What if
no,
I
I was
throw
gonna
it at
say-
the book instead?
Okay.
I was gonna say you take care of the monster because water doesn't affect it, and I can go for the book. That's what I was gonna say.
Burn at the book.
Okay. The book is a little bit of a ways. It's about, you would probably gather at around 150, maybe 200 feet, somewhere around there. So you're gonna have to run a little bit.
I'll throw it at the monster first. Then.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
I was gonna go for the book.
Sure.
Yeah. Don't stare for it now.
I'm gonna have a piece of beef jerky and roll help out.
Sure. What'd you roll?
I might need it.
Okay. So
So you gain +1 to your roll.
That is an 8.
okay. So an 8 total with the +1. Awesome. So for kick some ass. All right. So you inflict harm.
That's the kick some ass move.
Yes.
That is a 9 then. I was reading
Oh!
the wrong thing. I thought it was cool instead of tough.
Okay. So you throw the Molotov cocktail down, and basically the monster shrieks. And it rears its head back, and it sort of like tries to pounce away towards the right, back towards where all the other additional bookshelves are. And you get another whip in the face from that tail, and it knocks you back. And some of the bookshelves start to domino down as it's making its way towards this around the circular room. So take 1 harm.
Oh, ow, you goddamn bitch!
Mm-hmm. And you also sort of like notice you.
For the monster.
Yeah. And you notice that like you're a little bit burned on your hand. You're like, fuck. But you manage. Okay, you're just knocked back down. Yeah. And it's still got its eyes towards you at the end of the room. It's going to basically pounce at you. Because it could do that.
Shoot. Well, Belle was running towards the book, but when she hears Sammy in pain, she would probably turn back. Could I roll to protect someone?
You could.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
I'll allow it.
Okay, so 8 plus... Okay, so I got 10.
So, as you... Oh, a 10? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I choose an extra.
Yeah, you choose an extra. That's what I was...
So, I suffer harm. All impending danger is now focused on me. Or I inflict harm on the enemy. Why would I not choose that one? Hold the enemy back. Okay. I'm gonna choose to hold the enemy back.
Right, okay. So, this brave little border collie dog, as the creature is sort of pouncing its way towards you, it's about to bite down and snap, and it reaches basically, and it closes basically right on top of your face, but this little border collie doesn't give two shits, and so it goes right for its tail. You hear it like screech a little bit as she's sort of like tug of warring its tail back and keeping it back away from you, shaking it out.
So
trying to rip that thing off.
Taking the opportunity for this with this distraction, I'm going to get out another one of my Molotov cocktails, and light that up and throw it towards the back of its head.
All right, roll to kick some ass.
Kick some ass. 6 plus 1. That is an 8.
That's an 8. Okay.
Unless there's anything to add else to it.
Okay. All right. That's an 8. So you basically, you're doing a Molotov's cocktail?
Yeah.
Okay. So you throw it out and, like, you have just enough room to sort of, like, get it on its back. It shrieks again now that it's actually on fire, and the fire is starting to billow and the smoke is starting to fill the room very quickly because ink is flammable. And this whole damn room is ink. It's lit on fire. But oh my god, it's like you actually suffer 1 harm from all the smoke, also from your lungs filling.
As well, right?
Yeah.
Some bitch.
I will remind you guys, you still also have luck in case you want to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. That's
Uh-huh. So right now, Belle, you have its tail. You still have to get to that book. What's the plan here, guys?
While this thing is distracted, we're gonna both head for that book so that way we can try destroying it by either burning it or washing shit away.
Okay. So, are you either washing it away first, or are you heading for the book?
Sammy should head for the book, and Belle is gonna keep trying to distract the monster.
Okay. All right.
So she's going to roll to kick some ass, I guess.
What are you doing to distract him? Are you biting him? Are you, like, running around? What are you doing to distract the monster? I should say.
Well, she's got its tail. Does she still have its tail, or is it just like bite?
You still have its tail. You still have its tail, but you could either let go or you could keep going on. Whatever you want to do. What are you doing?
Could you describe its tail for me, please?
It's a lot like, imagine a pig's tail, but long and not curled. So it kind of feels like skin and like little bits of like hair on it.
Okay.
It's also weirdly wet.
She can to claw at it and just essentially do as much physical damage as possible until she probably gets like thrown off or whatever.
Sure. So you're gonna kick some ass. Awesome.
She's going to dive into her ancestral wolf-like genetics.
Yes.
Get into her inner wolf and fuck shit up.
Alright. And that is a 9.
A 9. Okay. Are you going to use a luck? Or no?
Ooh. Let me read that real quick.
You can mark off a luck box to either change a roll you just made to a 12, as if you had rolled that, or change a wound you have just taken to count as 0 harm. If your luck boxes all get filled, you've run out of good luck.
Okay, I'm okay for wounds right now. I just took the smoke damage, so I think I will change that to a 12 in that
Sure.
case.
Absolutely. So on a 12 plus for kick some ass, you get an enhanced effect. You can completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved get +1 forward. You suffer no harm at all. Your attack inflicts double the normal harm, or your attack drives the enemy away in a rout. So you can choose one of those features. I know.
How long do you think the enemy would stay away? What does it mean in a rout?
In a route. So, like, basically, for example, if you want, you could keep it from following the center of the aisle towards where the book is.
Okay.
As in a route.
I'm gonna choose that one.
Okay.
Try and keep it where it is as much as possible.
Okay, sure. You inflict harm on it, and you bare its teeth and bare your teeth in as much as you can. It's trying to reel its way back towards you, but it's too damn chunky, and so it's basically trying to bite at you and snap at you, and it's just missing as it's trying to snap at you. All of the eyes are very, very close, and all you see is like red dots of pupils staring at you, and this inking sort of like saliva coming out of its mouth. Sammy, I want you to roll act under pressure to get to that book. As the bookshelves are still dominoing towards you.
Oh my god.
That's a 7.
That's a 7. Are you using luck?
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking use luck.
This is the time to do it.
Yeah, this is ample time to do it.
Yes. So that means on a 12 plus, you may choose either to do what you wanted to do, or add something extra, or do it to like perfection.
So, while getting to that book, I'm bringing up another bottle of Molotov cocktail, and as I'm running, I'm gonna get it to light it, and when I get to that book, I'm smashing that thing down the book.
Easily enough. You manage to basically dodge away and like leap towards the table, landing hard. Like it hurts your chin and it hurts your body, but like the bookshelf just barely misses landing and slamming on top of you, and like you're like oh god, and like you're taking the Molotov cocktail and like screeching with a flame in your hand, and you slam it towards the book.
On the way.
Hell yeah! Yeehaw! And you slam it down onto the book. Everything sort of billow out in flame. You hear a screech not only from the monster, but also from the collective vines and vine-like creatures around you. As they recoil and shriek. And, the smoke continues to billow. It's harder for you to see, but like it's all light and flame and smoke and black until you hear a voice both in your heads. Good morning. And you open your eyes, you jolt back. You're back in your lounge chair, still holding your rifle, sort of like shaken. And Belle, you're still in your bed, and there's light coming out from the windows.
Oh my god. It was all a dream.
And that was A Nightmare in Willowbrook.
Oh my god! It was so intense! I was terrified!
I need to go and check the expiration dates. Check the snow to see what's expired.
And it's just the same morning it's just the next morning of any other day in Willowbrook.
Belle, go check on Becca.
Becca's fine. She's still sort of like snoring.
It's probably Saturday morning for Becca.
Yeah, she's sleeping in. She's not worried about it now. It's the summertime. It's whatever. She can get up later.
Oh my god.
But she's okay.
She pleases.
She's still in her bed.
Oh my god.
I then take a look outside, and I start going outside, and I check my traps and whatnot, and I go to my front driveway. Do I see anything on my front driveway?
The ink.
Other than your driveway, no.
I'm gonna go around the premise to see if I see anything like ink or footprints or whatever.
No, you don't really notice anything. You see the paper boy just coming up with his bike, coming around. Hey, Sammy! Just like this little 12-year-old with like a baseball cap.
What's the kid's name?
His name's Jake.
Hey, Jake!
Belle's just gonna curl up in Becca's bed and lay down on top of her and like keep just relax for 2 seconds.
Yeah, everything's fine. Becca's nice and asleep, and you kind of like go around the rooms. You can smell her parents sort of like in their bedroom, sleeping,
oh my God,
safe and sound. Sammy, as the paper boy, throws the paper in like the regular like plastic roll and everything. There's a little black splotch in there, probably from wet ink.
I take my newspaper, go to my stove and burn the paper. I don't even read it, I'm just burning it.
Plastic sleeve and all.
No. If I have like a fire pit in my backyard, I light up my fire pit and burn it in there. I'm not burning my house down for this. Kill.
Yeah. Jake kind of turns back after throwing it. Well, that's weird. And he keeps dropping back down. And I believe that leaves us off at pretty much where we normally end.
Oh my god, I want to play this more though.
That was intense, Liz. That was really good.
This sounds like something from the No Sleep podcast. That's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, by the way.
I was so
Awesome.
confused the whole time.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just gonna go with it. It turned out to be a fucking dream. Okay.
The entire time, I was like, oh my gosh, I really hope none of the ink people look like Belle's little girl. Like, I really, really hoped that she would not pop up.
I mean, honestly, if you were to stay at your house, you might have seen Becca there.
I know.
But you left your house as soon as you woke up.
Should have checked on her, but I didn't.
You didn't.
You were probably smarter not to check on her.
I mean, now I'm happy I didn't, but it would have made sense at the time.
But I think that's where we'll end TPK for tonight.
Well,
Thank you guys so much for hearing me. I am sorry about the technical difficulties
You're fine.
and the background noise.
I'm just glad we were able to get through this and then continue with the game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing this. I'm glad we were able to do this session. This was fun.
I definitely want to play this again, and, like, if you do not mind me downloading this for myself so that way I can play with my in-person group.
Oh, I don't mind at all.
With my other group.
Uh-huh. I don't mind at all. It's a great system, and, like, again, it really lends itself to storytelling and, like, narrative.
And it's so easy to learn. You were completely right. You can pick this up within, like, a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I find that it's, like, when, like, I've also done this at conventions before. Like, me and my friends have gotten bored in between, like, panels. So I'm like, let's go into the game room and, like, I'll just tell you guys, we'll do Monster of the Week for, like, 20 or 30 minutes and figure it out.
And that's great.
So it's a really fun system. I would love to continue to use this. I've also done this one shot a little similarly, but with, like, a few changes on another channel at one point. It was really fun. Everyone loved it, and again, like, it's so much fun. I love the playbooks. The playbooks are so fun.
Yeah. The minute that I saw Meddling Kid, I was just like, oh my god. And it's, like, so obviously supposed to be, like, modeled after, like, the Scooby-Doo gang, but it gives you so much leeway to create your own thing as well. Oh, it was so fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And, like, I love the fan-made ones, too. Like, I'm pretty sure the Big Game Hunter was a fan-made one, technically.
Okay, so whoever watches this now or in the future, if you're the one that made the Big Game Hunter, thank you. I now have fucking Redneck MacGyver OC.
Yes.
I just need to find myself a freaking Super Soaker at my local Kroger, and
You've made our day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you made our day.
Let me ask, how nice was it to just roll 2d6 and add one number?
Yes.
So nice. It did take a second for my brain to catch up, though, because I was like,
yeah.
Doing more than this.
Yeah, I know, it feels weird, right? After playing D&D or Pathfinder for so long, you're like, 2d6? That's it?
Yeah. And so when you say, like, oh, I rolled a 9, that doesn't sound like a lot, but you're like, out of 12. That's
out of 12,
good.
that's really good.
Right?
So thank you guys for watching. This will definitely need some editing later on.
Maybe. Unless we want to keep everything in so that way people can be like, okay, I'm not the only ones with technical difficulties.
Oh no, Ryan makes it look easy. It is not easy. At least for me. Well, I'm glad you guys have fun, and I'm glad you guys let me guide you through this horrible